Pitch City, Pittsburgh. What a glorious afternoon for baseball in downtown Pittsburgh on the banks of the Allegheny. One of the great settings in all of sports, PNC Park. Game 3 between the Nationals and the Pirates. These two teams have split the first two. These are our teams here. Facebook Watch MLB Live this afternoon. Hi everybody, I'm Rich Waltz. Welcome to Pittsburgh. Jaw-dropping view behind us here at PNC. Let's start with the Pirates. For Pittsburgh, a great start to the season. In fact, in early May, they were in first place in the Central. But it has not been good for Clint Hurdle, and the Pirates really need to get rolling before the All-Star break and before the trading deadline. For the Washington Nationals, they were supposed to run away with this division, but it hasn't happened. They're just a game over, 5.5 games back, and their superstar, Bryce Harper, right now is struggling. That's the backdrop, along with what's behind me, for our Facebook Watch MLB Live today. If you're new to Facebook Watch, here are a couple things to know. You can join us in the conversation in the comments, and if you want to join the Nationals or the Pirates fan groups, you can do that. If you don't want comments on your laptop or your device, just swipe right or press the quiet button. If you're on a laptop or a PC, expand it to full screen and the comments go away. We have a terrific booth with us here. F.P. Santangelo, 7 years in the major leagues. You see him as an Expo. He was a Giant, he was a Dodger, and he was an Oakland Athletic. Always a spark plug, not only on the field, but also in the booth. And laying out for you, I might add, the mayor is in town, Sean Casey, Pittsburgh native, a Pirate, doing damage against the Reds of all things on the show. 12 years in the big leagues, a 3-time All-Star. Sean Casey is with us as well. And we welcome everybody to the booth. Steven Nelson will join us shortly. He's our sideline social announcer as well in this broadcast. Case, let's go to Pittsburgh. You didn't have to commute far to this game.
20-minute ride.
All right. The Pirates, what happened? Early May, they're in first place. They're the talk of Major League Baseball. Since then, it's been a struggle.
Yeah, you know what, Rich? It's been a struggle. It's been a roller coaster year so far for the Pirates. They've been up and down. They start off hot, got off to that great start. Everything was clicking for them. The bullpen was great. They were swinging the bats well, and their starting pitching was great. You see through May 17th had that 26-17 record. But since then, they've really scuffled. You see the runs per game are down. Team ERA's up. The bullpen's really scuffled along that way, and the team defense hasn't been great. So for the Pirates so far this season, just been an up and down roller coaster, and as of late, it hasn't been that great.
F.P. Santangelo, critically acclaimed in his 8 years in the Nationals booth, and well-groomed as well, I might add. You've seen every at-bat for Bryce Harper as a National. As he goes, the Nationals go, which means he's got to get going.
Yeah, big part of the offense. Really hasn't been there from an average standpoint, but his power numbers are right where they need to be. I mean, he's on pace to go 40 and 100. He hasn't collected the hits that he normally does, hasn't used the whole field. He's been swinging and missing a lot lately. Last night, 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. The last one looking on a borderline pitch, so he hasn't locked in yet. He's had spurts where his head's been still and he's been quiet, but the head's been moving all over the place. He's looking to lock in for the second half.
And of course, his slide numbers-wise on the right coincides with the National struggles on the mound. Add that together, and you've got a team that's just 1 over and 5.5 out in the East. And the Nationals last night with a win here in Pittsburgh. Their lineup looks like this. Day game after night game. But Davey Martinez has this lineup out there. Adam Eaton is hot right now. So is Juan Soto. Anthony Rendon homered last night. Bryce Harper talked with his manager last night and said, I'm playing tomorrow. So Harper, despite the 0 for 5 and 4 punch-outs, is in there. Matt Adams has been really nice since coming back from the broken finger. Trey Turner speedy out at short. Wilmer Defoe gives Daniel Murphy a day off at second. Matt Wieters is back behind the plate. And Gio Gonzalez, the lefty, is on the mound for the Nationals. Nationals at 46 and 45, and that is Trevor Williams on his way out to the mound. Williams, the 26-year-old, makes start number 19. Sean Casey, Trevor Williams, you've seen him before.
Yeah.
He's had some issues of late.
Yeah, I think, you've been talking to Clint Hurdle. He started off hot, I think his first 9 starts, and his last starts, have really not been that great. I think he's, I think when you look at his stuff, it's been up, out, over the plate. It hasn't been as sharp in his location. And we were talking to Clint Hurdle before the game, and he was talking about just having Trevor Williams grab the ball, throw it with conviction, and let his stuff work for him. So we'll see if he's turning the corner in today's start.
Love that look right down the barrel as Williams gets ready to go. This is a Pirate team, FP, that is somewhat reloading after trading Garrett Cole and Andrew McCutchen. Not only their two best players in terms of pitcher and position player, but leaders in the clubhouse. There's younger guys, Jamison Tyon in that rotation, some other kids getting a chance to shine for the Pirates. It's a time for them to find out if some of these young guys can lead.
It's an opportunity, right? It's an opportunity for some guys to take that role that Andrew McCutchen had in the past and Garrett Cole had in the past. I think when you talk to Pirates people, they're waiting for the first-year guys to take that next step in their second year, and it really hasn't happened how they anticipated it would thus far this season.
All right, Case, tell us about the defense out there for the Pirates.
Well, Starling Marte, he leads the way out in center field. What he does is pretty special. Gregory Polanco is really good out there in right. Luplow, the young minor league player of the year, is out there in left field. David Freese always plays a solid third base. Jordy Mercer, Josh Harrison there up there in second. Josh Bell and Francisco Cervelli back around there behind the dish, calling the shots.
Josh Harrison, speaking of spark plugs, at second and leading off for the Pirates in this one. And Eaton approaches the plate. Francisco Cervelli behind. They had a bit of a disagreement in game one of this series, but I believe everything's been patched up.
I think they got to know each other.
Yeah, what happened there, FP?
I think Adam Eaton was saying, we're hearing rumors that you might be traded around the trade deadline. Maybe you're going to be a national, and I think that's where the whole thing started.
Williams' first pitch
he said, no, I'm not.
is strike one. And it's 0-1 to Eaton. Eaton at 394 on base, slugging at 416. And he's been really good of late, coming off an injury. And that's a theme with the Nationals. Not only guys that are on the DL right now, and Strasburg, Doolittle, Zimmerman, Kendrick, but guys just coming back. Daniel Murphy, Matt Adams, Eaton, all guys that have missed significant time this year.
Yeah, during the season is a tough time to get healthy, though. Sean can tell you he's had some knee issues. I've had some knee issues. Usually it's tough to get stronger as the season goes on.
Fastball in.
Yeah, you have to find a way to grind, right? I mean, just every day there's no break, and then you have an issue. It's just, it's one of those seasons you just kind of figure it out day by day.
You see the issues in terms of days lost to the disabled list. And Eaton takes down low. He's a terrific leadoff guy. We talked about the on base, which is close to 400. He's 5 for 7 with a double in this series.
Well, he's going to fight you. There's no doubt about that. He likes to stay in at bats a long time, foul off pitches.
On the ground, Harrison has it. On over to Bell at first. And Trevor Williams has it out, and that's a good start for the Pirates. Williams, we spoke with him yesterday, and he said two things to look for. Strike one, that's important for him. Day game, he wants to work quickly, he wants to get out in front. And secondary stuff. He said if he can locate the secondary stuff, he feels he'll be successful.
It doesn't have overpowering stuff, so really has to work ahead of the count, get that strike one, and also go to his sinker, the slider that he has, a little bit of that changeup too. But no doubt strike one's huge for Trevor Williams.
Clint Hurdle watching.
Yeah, day games really favor the pitcher. When you talk about a quick turnaround, an hour air quote rain delay last night, all these guys standing on the field, the pitchers get to go home early. They get their 8 hours sleep. The rest of the guys a quick turnaround, so you want to pitch today.
Juan Soto takes in the dirt. Soto has homered in this series. Feels like he's homered in every series since he got to the big leagues. 9 now already for this rookie, who's lighting it up right now. 426 on base, slugging in the mid 500s.
FP, you get to see this guy every day. What's he like as a kid? He's 19 years old.
Tremendous knowledge of the game. I mean, going on 30 at the plate, and you guys will see it if you watch him play on a daily basis. Tremendous knowledge of the strike zone, Case. He has a game plan. He's looking for one pitch in one spot. He doesn't deviate from that game plan ever.
Good run on that two-seamer from Williams.
You talk about his numbers, Rich. Some of the most impressive things we've seen from Juan Soto are his walks. When people think walks are easy, he grinds out at bats. He takes borderline pitches. and he finds a way to get on base.
2-2. And it's smacked foul.
What's been impressive for me, too, watching him is you don't usually see a guy this young able to drive the ball to left center the way he does. It seems like he's got big time. He can go anywhere, but he's got big time power to that left center gap.
And the league's still trying to find out where the holes are in a swing. See that? I mean, that's just a perfect example. Spitting on a borderline pitch. Guy knows the strike zone. And don't forget, he didn't play in 2017. He was hurt all last season, the minor leagues. So he's got about a half a season under his belt, and then he's all the way up to the big leagues.
It's a pretty good pitch by Williams right at the knees, and a changeup, 84 miles an hour, and he got Soto out on his front foot.
That was filthy right there. Well, he got him, just missed on that slider in. Probably wanted that pitch, but that was a pretty filthy changeup right there.
What did you see from these first set of starts on the left to the other starts on the right?
I think when you go back and look at Trevor Williams right there, that's what you saw early on when he was 5-2 with that 2.7 ERA. Really pounding the strike zone, getting up early, hitting location, really using those secondary pitches to get guys off him. But his last 9 starts, wow, he's really missed location, almost the exact opposite of what he was doing those first 9 starts.
His confidence, too.
Yeah.
When you're locked in as a pitcher, put down whatever sign. I don't care. I'm going to throw this pitch. I'm going to throw it with conviction. And then maybe when you get hit around a little bit, you start doubting yourself. What should I throw here? You're not fully committed to the pitch you're about to throw.
I think when you go back and look at this strikeout right here, the deception of that arm action right there. He gets Soto out front, and the arm action that Williams has right there, that is so huge. And the late downward tilt he has in that changeup. Man, if he has that working today, he'll have some success.
And his prescription for success that he gave us yesterday is held so far, right? Strike one, secondary stuff. He's 2-1 now on Rendon, who has been an extra base machine in his career and this year. 38 extra base hits, including a home run last night. He's hit 13 of them.
As soon as analytics finds a way to measure confidence, I'll be all in 100%. Because as Sean knows, when you're confident in this game,
So true.
it's so, I mean, you can't measure it, right? It's an intangible, but it's all the difference at the highest level.
2-2.
When your confidence is low as a player, you have to flip the switch mentally and say, today's the day. I'm talking myself into confidence. I'm putting my shoulders back. I'm grabbing the ball with conviction. I'm throwing it as hard as I can, trying to hit location instead of getting out of your own head. It's a total game of confidence. And you're right, you can't judge it.
Yeah, but what if it doesn't work? Do you do it again?
You do it again. You just keep doing it.
I was just about to interject that it feels like these two teams have been talking to themselves for a while now.
Yeah.
Ever since the Pirates got to early May with first place, and that has slipped away. And for the Nationals, who've been spinning their wheels since early June. Another 3-2 to Rendon. And Williams with a high fastball. Williams is a 5-pitch guy if you divide the fastballs by 2. 2-seam, 4-seam. Slider, curveball, and we saw that changeup on the strikeout of Soto.
The opponent's hitting 217 against that changeup on the season.
Just missed. Jerry Meals, the home plate umpire. Chris Siegel, Gabe Morales, and Ed Hickox on the bases, and Rendon is on, and here comes Harper. And of course, last night struck out his first 4 times, bounced out his last time. It was 0 for 5 with 4 punch outs. His manager went to him, was going to give him a day off, said he was going to give him a day off, and Harper said, I'm in there. I want to play. And so he's hitting cleanup, and he's in the lineup this afternoon.
It says a lot about the man, doesn't it? I mean, he could have ducked out today and said, I'll take the 12:30 start off after a late night. He was looking at 5 too. He had 2 strikes on him his last at bat.
Big shift, and he's seen more shifts this year than any in his career. And that pitch is low and in. You can see the shift with Harrison in shallow right, Mercer over, Freeze over as well. Whether it's the shift, whether it's mechanics, whether it's his head, whether it's being over aggressive. Right now, Kevin Long and everybody with the Nationals and Harper trying to figure that out.
But I want Sean to lock into him today. I want to hear a good hitter's perspective on what he thinks about Bryce Harper. Sean Casey could hit, and I want him to watch Bryce and show us.
You know, one thing, when I've watched him a little bit, you know, and I've looked at his numbers, and it looks like, and for me, I know, you know, when I see Bryce, I think he's more of a gap-to-gap guy. I just think he's gotten really pool happy this season so far. I know probably his mechanics are off a little bit. There's no doubt about it, which we'll talk about later. But, you know, when you get pool happy, especially that pitch right there, obviously that had a good run on it. But, man, you know, for me, you start losing the whole field when you just start, that front shoulder flies out, you start losing your vision. Well, you talked about it right there. He kind of squats down, then comes back up, and it's just, and then looks like that front shoulder kind of like leaks a little bit.
That's at the knees, and it should have been a strike.
Well, let me ask you this, Sean. Did you ever have a season where you were in a funk all year and you just couldn't get out of it, no matter how hard you worked and how hard you tried? You just chalked it up to being one of those years?
Well, you know, I had not a whole season, but definitely just like Harper, I've had some bad halves where you're like, man, I just can't figure it out. And then you get that one at bat, that one game, and you start to get going. But I know for me, whenever I really struggled, the anxiety was a big part of it.
Swinging and missing is up, walk rate is down, and he's struggling with breaking balls over the last month and a half. Off-speed pitches have been a bugaboo. We'll see what Williams goes with here, 3-2. He threw a good changeup on 2-1 and didn't get the call. Let's see what he comes with here. Rendon on the move at first, and then he misses high with a fastball, and all of a sudden Trevor Williams has put 2 on, and up comes Matt Adams.
But you think about it, if your head's going down to up and a guy throws you a 12-6 curveball, now your head's moving up. That curveball looks even more nasty as it goes down, your head goes the other way. Plus, am I really seeing the ball down in the zone? If you have a good sinker down, or you have a good curveball down, or your changeup's fading away, and my head's going from low to high, I'm not seeing the ball below my knees very well if my head's going in a different direction.
I'm making you nastier than you really are.
Absolutely.
I'm giving you 2-3 more inches of movement than you really have.
A yearly visit to the mound.
Mound visits, of course, not only legislated, but down this year in baseball. You talk to umpires, and they said the players have done a nice job of adjusting. I don't remember, FP, have you seen a game, or Sean, have you seen a game where teams run out of mound visits yet?
I don't think so. I haven't seen it.
Okay, there was one, and they had to forfeit. The game was over right there. They had to go shower as soon as it got down to 0.
I missed that.
Yeah, I forget which teams it was.
Here's Adams now. It's great to have him back through the Nationals. Big shift, and Adams pulls it foul. And the count 0-1. Now, you see the shift, and he certainly wouldn't bunt here, but that's what put him on the disabled list. Bunting against the shift. And he caught a pitch off his finger.
Just keep hitting, Big City. This guy, Matt Adams, man, he's found a home here in Washington. He can hit.
You love him, don't you?
I love him. I always loved him.
Adams to center. Marte at the track makes the catch. Boy, that's 10 feet from 3-0 Nationals. But Trevor Williams pitches out of it. Matt Adams with a deep fly ball, and the Nationals strand 2 in the first here in Pittsburgh, the Bridge City, on a gorgeous Wednesday afternoon. All right, let's check in on the Pirates. Pittsburgh at 42-49. They had won 2 straight before losing last night. Josh Harrison is in the leadoff spot. Corey Dickerson's been in that spot, but he has the day off. Starling Marte is a budding star right now. 10 homers, tied for the league lead with 23 stolen bases. Gregory Polanco has homered and driven in 4 in the series. Good to have Francisco Cervelli back, an on-base machine in the cleanup spot. David Freese at third. Josh Bell, the switch hitter, at first. Jordan Luplow is one of the top prospects for the Pirates. He's out in left field. Jordy Mercer in the 8th spot. Trevor Williams hits 9th. Gio Gonzalez, FP, the lefty at 6-5, an ERA in the mid-3s, but he's had a bumpy ride of late.
He has. He's looking to right the ship today. Look at the numbers: 6-5, 95 2/3 innings pitched. He's 32 years old, 6 foot 205. 3-2 win last start. Had a pretty good start on the 6th of July against the Marlins. Gave up 2 runs on 8 hits in that one over 5 innings. So Fastball, curveball change for Gio. The fastball's two-seam variety. When he's good, he keeps it down, gets some ground balls with it, and then he pops the four-seamer in late with 2 strikes. And Davey Martinez's bullpen's a little bit beat up. He needs 6-7 innings out of Gio today.
Got a nice start from Jeremy Hellickson last night. Hellickson will be our guest as the game goes along from the Nationals dugout. Nationals defensively.
And Juan Soto, a guy that played center field and right field in the minor leagues, exclusively has played left here. Bryce Harper said, I'll go to center field. I don't care where you put me. Adam Eaton can play all 3 positions in the outfield. Turner and Rendon on the left side, Defoe and Adams on the right side. And Matt Wieters off the DL just a few days ago behind the plate.
Here's Harrison. He's got the glasses on with plenty of glare to go around the ballpark. Wieters frames that one right on the outside corner, and Gio Gonzalez throws strike 1. Starling Marte, Gregory Polanco, and if anybody reaches, Francisco Cervelli. Gonzalez, his calling card's always been that great breaking ball, but of late he's had trouble getting outs with it.
Yeah, the changeup percentage, the highest of Gio's career, 23%. He's kind of gotten away from the curveball.
Roller to short. That's Trey Turner out there, and he bobbles in, and the speedy Harrison is aboard.
What do you got, Case hit in there?
Well, hey, you know what? That was Clint was putting Harrison in the leadoff spot, you know, trying to get him going. But I tell you what, I think Trey Turner makes that play all day long. I had to give him maybe an error on that one. What do you think?
Well, I guess Harrison was running pretty fast. He was getting down the line. Trey, if you haven't seen him play, likes to do the jump throw a lot on the slow roller. Instead of staying on his feet, throwing off your left.
Yeah.
Fielding off your left, throwing off your right, excuse me, likes to jump. And sometimes when he jumps, he has trouble with that exchange, and you just saw an example of that.
And that swing is what Eric Burns documented for us about a month ago from a right-handed bat. When you're leaning out over the plate and you dribble it off your bat, you've got a head start and a great start to first. And that one is lined to right. Eaton is there, and he's got it. Starling Marte didn't wait long to get a pitch he liked, and he lines out to right field. And that'll bring up Gregory Polanco. We talked about the exit of 2 of the big names. In fact, the 2 biggest pieces, pitcher and hitter. Andrew McCutchen, who was the face of the franchise for so long, and Garrett Cole, an anchor on the rotation. Marte and Polanco are the 2 guys that Clint Hurdle expects to emerge as the future. I mean, I know they've been here, but now they step out of McCutchen's spotlight.
I think Polanco's really been the guy that waits to emerge. There's nothing like fouling out either your first swing sometimes, but you know, you look at the offseason overhaul. Garrett Cole, McCutchen go, Crick comes in, Feliz, Musgrove in that rotation. Moran swung the bat pretty well over there at third. Martin and Reynolds, but you know, I tell you what, they do expect losing McCutchen. You got Marte now in center field. You expect Polanco to go to that next level, which he really has. Again, he's really had a nice few weeks here, but you know, once again, he's not that premier player everyone thought he was going to be.
Cervelli now. Off the disabled list. He was on with a concussion in late June. The 32-year-old catcher takes down low. On base machine. Right now at 388 on base. And he's slugging at 478. So a nice season going right now. Harrison at first. No one has stolen off of Gio Gonzalez this year. 0 of 3 are base stealers.
He doesn't have a tremendous move to first either. He's just quick to the plate.
That's 2-1.
I like what Cervelli brings to the table, both as a catcher and offensively this year with 9 home runs.
It's not often you get both catchers that hit in the cleanup spot, which is what the Pirates have. Elias Diaz has had a really nice year power-wise, and so has Cervelli. That's pretty good production out of your backstops.
No, it's great production. They've definitely got some big-time power. I thought Cervelli might have a chance to be out there in Washington, too, at the All-Star game.
If he stayed healthy, he was tracking. But when you talk to pitchers, a catcher that can steal strikes for them, present it in a fashion that, you know, the borderline pitch always goes your way, it gives you so much confidence as a pitcher. Just, it's like having a good first baseman like Sean Casey. Just throw it near, he's going to pick it. Same thing with Cervelli back there. You know, get the ball near the plate, he's going to frame it up for you and steal strikes all day.
3-1. Out in front, he pops it up. Adams has it. And Gio Gonzalez works around that leadoff infield hit from Josh Harris. And scoreless through 1. Steven Nelson is the 4th man in our broadcast today here in beautiful PNC. And we join Steven now. Steven, first time in this ballpark?
Rich, FP, Case, it's an honor to be here with you. What up, Facebook? You're stuck with me again as your social reporter. And listen, we love being with you, even when you're angry at us about the comments. There's a ton of ways you can get involved in the broadcast here, and we'll be live on Facebook Watch. You can comment, can't complain about the comments. You can send questions to the guys in the booth. They will answer those throughout the broadcast. They'll even throw them at players and coaches and managers that will speak throughout the broadcast as well. But there's also pictures, okay? You can post pictures a couple ways. Hit up your IG story, your page, post the hashtag MLB Live or on FB, MLB Live on FB. Or you can also join the fan pages for the respective ball clubs, your favorite teams in the majors, and anytime they're on Facebook Watch, you go on here and send us your pictures, whether you're at work watching, you're at home on a beautiful summer day, you're at the ballpark like you see there, or you happen to be a child. Hey, shouts to Tim Fryer, our man. Well, this isn't Tim. This is his beautiful niece, Grace, 3 weeks old. Thank you to Lindsay. Congrats to Lindsay for sending this. Again, you could try and post a picture as adorable as that. I don't know if you're going to be able to top it. Later, we're going to set the social scene, guys. But right now, it's impossible to beat the actual scene here at Pittsburgh. This is my first time at PNC Park, and I got to tell you, it's lived up to the hype. I walked across the Clemente Bridge this morning, and just a gorgeous day. So that had me wondering, for you guys in the booth and the people watching on Facebook Live right now, what is the most picturesque park in the big leagues? And what's the prettiest park to go to? Again, I had never been here before. PNC is now right at the top, guys.
Yeah, no, I agree, Nelly. I think PNC is. I've played in a lot of different parks, and I obviously played most of them. But I played here as a home player, and obviously being from Pittsburgh, there's nothing like the backdrop of PNC Park. It really isn't. And I think every player, visiting player too, would say the same thing.
Yeah, that's our view right there from the booth. So when you come to this ballpark, and we only get to come here 3 days a year, you know, every time you walk into the broadcast booth, you look at that skyline back there and you think, that's not real. That's a movie set. But AT&T Park comes to mind with the water. Wrigley Field's my favorite. And I think Petco Park is very underrated in San Diego.
I would agree. In terms of view, this is the best. And right behind it is San Francisco. Looking out on the bay from AT&T in San Francisco, all the way across to Oakland and the Oakland Hills. Trey Turner, Wilmer Defoe, Matt Wieters against Trevor Williams here in the 2nd. And by the way, if you're new, and both the Nationals and the Pirates playing in their first Facebook Watch game, so the fan bases, I'm sure, still getting accustomed to the technology. If you don't want the comments on your screen and you have a handheld device or a tablet, you can simply swipe right on the comments and they disappear. If you've got a laptop or a PC, there is a button, a quiet button that you could push down on the bottom menu, or if you extend it to full screen, the comments disappear as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Trevor Williams. This is inside. Williams wearing the number 34, and that's significant. That is a number change. And it is also the name of Project 34, a charity that he has started. That pitch is strike 3 on the inside corner, and down goes Turner.
I think when you look at Williams this inning, he doesn't want to get in the, him walking 2 guys last inning got in this little bit of trouble. Looked like right here he was really attacking the strike zone and attacking Turner. Gets up. Looks like a 4-seamer right there. Right on the inside corner.
Yeah, but back in the day, if you set up away and threw one in and had to reach across for it, you never got the call. But now with the box and the umpires being graded every time they're behind the plate, you have to call it.
A lot more consistency on that. Defoe to first. Trevor Williams was a star at Arizona State, and his roommate at Arizona State was Corey Hahn. And Hahn, a top prospect as well. And tragically, on a headfirst slide, was paralyzed. And they were roommates, best of friends. And so Williams in the offseason, and he has started what I mentioned, Project 34, which raises awareness and dollars for spinal cord injuries, asked Hahn if he could wear Hahn's college number, 34. That's why he changed his number, and that's the name of Project 34. And Corey Hahn is doing, in the baseball world, is doing great. The Arizona Diamondbacks did draft him after the accident and immediately put him in the front office. He wants to be a general manager, and he's quickly rising up the ranks in Arizona. And
that's outstanding. What a great story.
Yeah.
And what a great tribute to wear his number.
Yeah, the young man on the mound's been through a lot in his life. Trevor Williams. Wieters fights off a fastball and fouls it back. I'm sure his dad is watching. His dad, Richard, who has survived stage 4 B-cell lymphoma, battle with cancer, and it's always great to report that he's doing well. We asked Trevor about him yesterday. Wieters busted bat, and it's sent out to David Freese out there at short. And a nice clean inning by Trevor Williams. 1-2-3 gets Turner, he gets Defoe, and he gets Wieters. Scoreless here in Pittsburgh. Well, this is game 3 of a 3-game series. The Pirates won game 1. Last night, the Nationals answered. Here's a look and a listen at last night.
From PNC Park, it's the Pirates and the Washington Nationals.
Harper signing autographs, another all-star appearance for him.
Harper launches one. See you way later.
Max Scherzer, is this guy the best pitcher in the game right now?
What makes Scherzer so unique and so rare is, number one, that durability. He's trying to complete the game.
Have a night, Juan Soto.
He also has a great nickname, Childish Bambino.
Soto! What a show he is putting on tonight, folks. Mark Reynolds, deep to left.
Who's going to be the hero tonight? There's your answer.
And Rays, the Jolly Roger.
Colin Moran, a grand slam.
This was a Pirate team that got off to a really good start this season. They were 26-17.
He struck him out. Vasquez strikes out the side in the ninth. Dickerson sends it out to right. The Pirates have walked off winners.
Gregory Polanco is next.
Ball grounded through, base hit. 2-run single, Gregory Polanco. Pirates up 2-0. He swings and launches one way out of here to right. And the Pirates lead it 6-1.
And don't see you later. 2-0 Nats. Eno guided the other way for a base hit. And it's 4-0. Ball game over. And the Nats win it 5-1 to draw even in the series. And with a chance behind Gio to win a series tomorrow.
So it was last night with a little bit extra for the Nationals and the Pirates. Daily recaps for all 30 Major League Baseball teams are available on demand on Facebook Watch. Rich Waltz, FP Santangelo. The mayor is in the house. Sean Casey is here. Stephen Nelson is our sideline reporter. A scoreless ball game in the bottom of the second on a glorious afternoon in Pittsburgh.
He's watching on Facebook.
David Freese.
He's commenting.
And Gio Gonzalez throws strike 1.
Crushing the broadcasters while he's watching.
A lot of fans weighing in on ballparks. A lot of PNC love. Camden Yards gets some love from Will. And a sharp ground ball finds Defoe. David Freese is out. Josh Bell, Jordan Luplow coming up for the Pirates.
Wilmer's got his chain on backwards. See that?
He did. He did. Gio Gonzalez, 32. And a long-time national. This is 7th year in the rotation. Has been an all-star twice. Probably could have been an all-star last year with the year that he had. 15-9, an ERA of under 3. and the best whip of his career, 1.17 walks and hits per innings pitched.
Yeah, his ERA was in the low 2s at the break last year. He felt like he should have been an all-star, and the game was in his hometown in Miami, so he was really shooting for that. It was one of his goals in spring training, as a matter of fact.
Nationals have a trio of all-stars, and maybe another with Bryce Harper, Max Scherzer, Sean Doolittle, who's on the disabled list with a sore toe, and Trey Turner, one of the final vote candidates. Josh Bell pulls it. Rendon skips it across in time.
I think Rendon's a guy that doesn't get enough credit in my mind. I know Sean Casey's seen him play a lot. Every year he's right around 280, 290. He's got a lot of homers, a lot of RBIs. People don't get to see him every day play third base.
Pick it over there, huh?
He's one of the better defensive third basemen in baseball. He just made a really tough play right there. Looks super
I was just going to say the same thing. I'm like,
yeah.
You don't appreciate these like, that's a tough play.
Yeah.
He made a lot of his routine. No, that's a really hard play to make right
Smooth.
there. Especially after watching my kid's 16-year-old game last night. I'm like, geez.
Were they kicking it around?
Yeah, let me go watch a big league game tomorrow. I can't wait. Remember what it looks like.
I mean, watch how easy he makes this look. Kind of an in-between tricky hop. Field it off the right, throw out the left, and a perfect strike to Matt Adams.
That one driven to left center. And Juan Soto is there. Luplow is out number 3, and Gio Gonzalez settles in to the second inning. He goes 1-2-3, just like Trevor Williams, and we are scoreless after 2 here in Pittsburgh. Last night, Nationals were in need of a good start, and they got a good one from Jeremy Hellickson. The 31-year-old looked sharp early on.
Yeah, 2 starts ago, he was sick. The flu was going around the Nats clubhouse, and he was hooked up to about 3 different IVs. Went out there and kind of took one for the team. So we kind of gave him a big-time mulligan on that one. He made it through that, and he had a lot of help from his defense last night. Juan Soto going deep into the gap in left center, but Jeremy was locked in. Fastball, curveball change, throwing a lot of strikes. Went 5 innings. They pinch hit for him in a big leverage situation, but he was nails last night. He's been a great addition for the Nats.
And that's been one of the areas where the Nationals have desperately needed help, and that is in their rotation. Outside of Max Scherzer, early June on, the rotation has had trouble getting deep into games and winning ball games. Now, Steven Strasburg is back after the All-Star break, but having Hellickson with the start that he made last night is a nice shot in the arm.
It's a nice 5th starter for the Nats when the rotation's healthy, and he'd be a nice 2 or 3 starter for a lot of clubs.
And he's a nice addition to our telecast. He joins us now, Jeremy Hellickson. Jeremy, congratulations on the win last night. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
We got you.
Okay.
You got us?
Yeah.
Outstanding. All right, what was last night like? What went well for you? What did you feel?
Can't hear you.
Can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you.
There you go. What was last night like? What did you feel, and what went right for you?
I mean, I think I had a good changeup last night. Kept the ball down. Me and Boom were on the same page for, pretty much the whole game. I got some great plays to lead off some innings that really helped, and just getting ahead of guys was, I think, was probably the biggest thing.
Jeremy, FP here. Take us through last night versus your last start, and talk a little bit about the start when you were out there sick and how you kind of took one for the team and barely made it through.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you what I remember. No, I mean, I know it didn't go too well, but with Fetty going out that first inning, the game before, I just felt like I needed to go out there and try to give 5 or 6, but I was, like I said, I don't remember much, so 4 was all I had. But yeah, last night was, it was nice to feel good and actually know where the ball was going. So, but yeah, those 2 days before that last start were pretty rough, and then the 2 days after, plus
Smacked into right field. Gio Gonzalez with a base hit. It's in the gap, and he's on his way to second. And Jeremy Hellickson, that's got to make the pitching fraternity pretty happy.
Always.
Who's got the best swing, Jeremy? Hey, man, Sean Casey. Who's got the best swing when you guys are getting a little BP? Who's your best hitter as a pitcher?
Best swing? I think I have the best swing, but my average isn't showing it. It's a good hit. It's a good hitting staff, though. I mean, obviously, Max is maybe 300 still. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, no, it's a good hitting staff.
Do you let Doolittle in that group? I mean, he was a great hitter at Virginia.
Oh, I didn't even know that. But no, he doesn't get in there.
Yeah.
Hey, what's it been like for you? I'm interested, you know, you being out there in Tampa with Davey Martinez. I think he was the bench coach then. You know, you saw him in that role. What's it been like for you seeing him as the manager, and what does he bring to that clubhouse?
Yeah, it's a little different here with him as a manager, you know, as opposed to the bench coach there. You know, we could joke around and stuff like that on the bench when he was there, but it's a little different. But he's great for this team. He's you know, it was a long time coming. I think he should have, you know, had a job somewhere a while ago. So he's great for this clubhouse, and you know, we love playing for him.
Hey, Jeremy, have you ever seen a rookie as composed as the kid who's standing in right now in Juan Soto?
Not as a 19-year-old. There's been some pretty good rookies, but what he's doing at 19 is pretty impressive. You know, I'm trying to think where I was even at when I was 19, and I think low A, but yeah, no, I mean.
Yeah, he's done a lot of everything.
Yeah, I mean, just I mean, the most impressive thing is just how he's taking his walks, and he's not overmatched at all. You know, even with the bullpens we have nowadays, he's never overmatched.
Into right center, Marte there to grab it, and after the leadoff double by Gio Gonzalez, Anthony Rendon comes up with 2 outs. Jeremy Hellickson, congratulations on the win last night. Good luck the rest of the way. This is a team I think that's still got a lot left in the tank.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right. Hellickson last night helped the Nationals to a 5-1 win. Now here's Rendon. You know, this inning feels like old school and new school colliding. Runner at second, nobody out. The teachings used to be get him over, get him in. Rendon shoots it to center. It's deep and run down by Marte. But instead, runner at second, nobody out, and 3 balls in the air. And Gonzalez never moves from second base.
That ball was hit well. Rendon hit it well. Marte did a great job. Did a great jump on that ball. Made it look easy, but Rendon put a charge into that one.
And so Rendon with a line drive out. Still scoreless here. Let's take a step back in time to the a great run by the Pittsburgh Pirates in the early 90s.
Ground ball, this should be it. And the National League East. The emotion we haven't seen for much of the year is now obviously in full presence here at Busch Stadium.
Well, you know, yeah, I'm trying not to get emotional, but this was 5 years, Jim. This isn't 1 year, and this is what we told we were going to bring Pittsburgh, and hopefully we're not through yet.
Now it's up to Charlie Hayes and the fans anticipating this final out to clinch the National League East for the 2nd year in a row. Struck him out. The Pittsburgh Pirates are the National League Eastern Division champions for the 2nd year in a row.
The best. That's what every player wants to experience.
It's a good ball club, and that man's a good captain of this ship for certain.
They said nobody repeated. A lot of people thought we were fluke. I don't know what's going to happen from here on in, but I don't think anybody And I don't want to get dramatic, but I don't think anybody can be prouder of the team than I can. You saw why they're the Eastern Division champs today.
Jeff McKnight will be the batter with 2 out, nobody on. A lot of people thought during the 1992 season that the Pirates would walk the plank. But here in Pittsburgh, the last regular season game for the Pirates, they clinch it in front of the home fans.
Well, it's been a long time since a division title, although the Pirates under Clint Hurdle have had a really nice run getting to the postseason in 3 straight seasons as a wild card. The Pirates have gone 25. The Marlins never have won a division, yet they've won 2 world championships. Sean Casey, you were around.
Oh, that was those are my high school years.
Those are your high school
great years.
What do you remember when you watch that video and hear the calls and see?
It brings back, Rich, it brings back such great memories. That's what, you know, as a kid you love baseball, and when your hometown team's winning and you got guys like Bonds and Van Slyke and Doug Drabeck and Bobby Bonilla and all those guys, and you're winning division titles 3 in a row. I still remember one of the worst memories of my life was, I wasn't even playing, but 92, I was a freshman in college at the University of Richmond, and Francisco Cabrera comes up with that big hit, and Bonds can't throw out Sid Bream at the dish, and you know the Braves go to the World Series. But those are great years here in Pittsburgh, and they'll always be cherished by, especially my generation. And Jim Leland, I was so fortunate to play with Leland for 2 years in Detroit. Still a dear friend of mine. We still get together. He still lives here in Pittsburgh, but he's beloved here in this city.
Always dreamed of playing for Jim Leland.
Dude, you would have been your favorite manager ever.
That's what I've heard
down
from everybody.
He's the greatest.
Jordy Mercer at the plate, Trevor Williams, Josh Harrison here in the 3rd. 8-9-1 for the modern day Pirates. Now the Pirates, they won 3 division titles. They never got to a World Series. These modern day Pirates here, 3 consecutive wild cards. They did advance to the division series in 2013. Mercer lines one to left, and it's going to get down for a hit. Cut off there by Soto. Mercer heading for second, and he's got the double. Jordy Mercer, leadoff double here in the 3rd for Pittsburgh.
Dude, that double right there by Mercer, that happens out of the box. He hits the ball, and he's right from Jump Street. He's on the sprint, and that's the big part right here. He knows it's down the line. Soto's going to get to it on the hop, but Mercer is thinking too, right out the box, and he's able to get there. Nice piece of hitting and base running.
Yeah, love the hustle, love the swing. We were joking last night on the Nats broadcast that we feel like Jordy Mercer's been here so long, he took over for Jay Bell at shortstop. I mean, it just seems like he's been the shortstop for the Pirates forever.
Yeah.
Now Williams will try to bunt him over, gets it down. Gio knocks it down, picks it up, and throws him out.
Hey, getting back to Jim Leland really quick. When I went over to Detroit, you know, I never had a chance to really get to know him, but really quick, I get over there his first day, you know, trade deadline. I go into the coach's room. It's Gene Lamont, Lloyd McClendon, and Jim Leland. So he goes, all right, Gene Lamont's the third base coach. Give Case the signs. Goes through the signs. Goes, go to my hat. It's a hit and run. We're not going to give you the bunt. So Leland says, all right, Case. He's like, stay with me. He goes, if you get on first with a walk or a hit, I don't want you looking at Gino at third. I want you looking in the dugout to me. If we catch eyes, stay with me. As soon as we catch eyes, if I jump up and never come back down, you steal. I was like, this guy's the greatest.
Infield in here for Harrison. He fouls it back to the screen, and you still haven't seen him leave his feet, I assume.
Yeah. What an intro.
No, he wore his spikes, didn't he, every game?
Yeah. Oh, yes. 9 innings. And he'd be biting his nails at 8-0, 2 outs in the 9th. He's still all nervous. You know, game's not over yet. I'm like, it's over, Skip. Take your cleats off.
Mercer at third, and Gonzalez to Harrison. Now, we saw the Nationals get a runner at second base, but in a different part of their lineup. Eaton lined out, Soto flied out, Rendon lined out, and Gio Gonzalez never left after that leadoff double. Yes, I did say Gio Gonzalez leadoff double. Here in the 3rd, different part of the lineup. Mercer a double, Williams the bunt, and Harrison trying to score the run. And the fastball's up. It's 1-2.
Yeah, even though it's all about launch angle and exit velocity, hit the ball in the air, I still love when small ball's played. I love when you get them on, get them over, get them in. I don't think that'll ever be archaic in baseball.
And good rising fastball. Harrison chases, and Gonzalez gets the important second out as he chased out of the zone.
It's a fine line as a hitter, right, Case? You're looking for something up that you could use the big part of the ballpark to elevate with the infield in, but that was just a little higher than
You're
high.
looking for something up. You can say that, Pete. You're looking for something up, but then right when you swing at that, you know, it happens so fast. Oh, man, that's not the one. That's too high up.
Now, Marte saw one pitch and blistered it to right in the first for an out. And he takes a fastball up. Clint Hurdle today really high on Marte. Feels like he's playing free and loose and just starting to scratch the surface. He's running well. He's got 23 bags, tied for first in the National League.
I thought it was interesting when he talked about giving them those 3 days off in Los Angeles, kind of like just take a break, almost like it's the All-Star break. Give yourself 3 days. Let's use them as work days where you can get some work in, figure out your swing, come back. And Marte even says, man, I was able to get my mind right, come back and, you know, be the guy I know I am.
The only thing with that is if I'm a manager, I'm giving my star player a 3-day break in a town that's not conducive to going out late at night.
Not in L.A.
So maybe Cincinnati is where you're getting your
Milwaukee.
Case.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee. You get your 3 days off in Milwaukee, so get some rest. With, you know, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Miami, Chicago, New York.
You apparently haven't been out in Milwaukee lately. That one to center, hit well. Harper back, got turned around, looks up, it's gone. Starling Marte, and it's 2-0 Pittsburgh.
I'll tell you what, you know, you watch Marte on that pitch. He got it down. He got that hitter's count 2-1. But he got a pitch that he was out over the plate but down, and he just golfs this thing to dead center. Does a great job of really staying through the ball, using his hands, getting his backside through. That ball was driven. Watch right here. Here's the pitch right here. It's down. It's not a bad pitch at the knees, but Marte does a great job. Look how he gets through the ball. Watch his backside get through there. Great hands. That ball's hit on the line right into the Pirate bushes out there.
That was impressive.
It's almost the same spot where Harper went early in this series. And Marte with his 11th. 414 feet.
And sometimes as a pitcher, you think you get a big strikeout, you're out of the woods, right? Runner on third, less than 2, punch a guy out, take a deep breath, and all of a sudden it's 2-0.
Well, that's some small ball, right? Get him over, get him in with a 414-foot blast to center. Clint Hurdle, by the way, will be our guest momentarily when this inning ends. And we can ask him about that sequence as well. I'm sure he'll be happy to talk more about Marte, which he did in our meeting this morning.
You know, I pulled my phone out in our meeting this morning with Clint Hurdle.
Polanco in the air.
And it was to take notes about what he was saying. He had so many great little sayings, and I'm sitting there on my phone in my notes section trying to write it down as quick as I could. I left that office feeling like I didn't know anything about baseball. That's how smart Clint is. Or so maybe not. Maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know.
Starling Marte has given the Pirates a 2-0 lead here through 3. Clint Hurdle, 8 years here. There's some great managers. Danny Murtaugh, Jim Leland, Chuck Tanner, and of course we talked about Hurdle. And I think Clint, of all these managers, has had to come the furthest in terms of what he got and where he took them to 3 consecutive postseasons. This season a bit of a transition year in the absence of McCutchen and Cole. But as he told us, guys like Starling Marte are starting to step forward in leadership roles both on the field and off the field. Marte with a 2-run homer in the 3rd.
When I think of Clint, and maybe Sean can attest to this, he's great at X's and O's, but he's a leader of men. You know, that's the first thought that comes to my mind with Clint Hurdle. I came up playing against Clint when he was the manager of all the Mets minor league teams, St. Lucie, AA in Williamsport, AAA in Norfolk. So I've known Clint for a long time, and he's just a great leader of men.
Well, and in our visit with him this morning, I want to talk to him right now and ask him the same question. Skip, get him over, get him in with a 414-foot home run. Good work there.
Good work by Marte. Good work by Mercer. Get us going.
Yeah.
You know, these guys come out and they fight every day. They work hard to play. It's a good opportunity for us to get some traction here before the first half. Get a chance to win a series.
Here's what I want to know. FP just talked about you as a great leader of men. You've had to adjust because this is a new generation of players. We talked about the new swing and the new metrics and all of that. You've embraced that, haven't you?
Well, I have. I love the game. And I think the game's still all about relationships that you develop with people. And you got to grow. You got to adapt, improvise, and overcome. The game will leave you behind, and I don't want to be left behind. I have a passion for the game, and I want to do everything I can to leave it in a better place than it is when I first got there.
Clint, hey man, it's Case. Can you elaborate a little bit about giving Marte those 3 days off in Los Angeles and how he's looked since then?
Well, what I do is, Case, I try and evaluate just the body of work. It's a 30-day body of work. I usually pull back on where the swing gone, the chase, hard contact in the zone, just some indicators you look at, and then I just watch their body language as they play, and sometimes you can see frustration settling in or just confusion. And in Marte's case, I think he was trying really hard. He was kind of wearing himself down, and I just wanted him to unplug. Take a little different look at the game. 3 hard work days. If you get in the game, you get in the game. I'm going to try and keep you out. And then we're going to get back in. We're going to turn the fight back on. He's done that.
All right, we'll let you get back. One of the viewers wants to know, do you have an inspirational quote for everybody out there watching? I know you have a lot of those great books on your desk. What you got for us?
Well, the one I've been using lately is that adversity doesn't build character, it reveals it.
Nice. All right, Skip. Thanks for the visit. You're right, man. You listen to him, you're ready to run through the wall.
One of the best guys ever. One of the best, like you said, FP, motivational leaders out there. That's why he's been around so long here in Pittsburgh.
Meanwhile, we've got a Harper at bat. And if you're joining us late, Harper walked back in the first. 0 for 5 in last night's game with 4 strikeouts. Sitting on a 3-1 pitch from Trevor Williams. And a changeup down low. And FP, I know he hasn't hit the ball or done anything in terms of a swing, but just a couple of walks and a couple of solid at-bats from Bryce Harper has got to be progress.
Yeah, I think just controlling the pulse. Like, he's trying so hard right now. He's getting on that backside and kind of lunging toward the pitcher, and the head's moving around. Just controlling the pulse, controlling the at-bats. He knows the strike zone as well as any hitter I've ever seen. We talk about Juan Soto. When Bryce Harper's locked in, and people that have seen him play over the years know that he spits on pitches that are an inch off the plate, an inch high, an inch low. And this year he's been a little ultra aggressive, and I think because his eyes are moving so much that he doesn't have that same idea of the strike zone that he has in the past. It's still better than most players, even with his head moving all over. But when he's still, it's unprecedented.
Adams rips one right field and deep, and at the wall, Polanco spears it and spins back towards the infield. Adams right in that corner, about 375, and Polanco got there just in time.
Adams hit that one right on the screws, but Polanco does a great job of getting a jump on this ball. Watch this right here. This ball's ripped in the gap. Polanco knows exactly where he's at. This is the tricky part of the stadium right here, is that little nook right there. He does a great job taking a look, see where he's at, feels the warning track, and makes the play.
There's Turner now. Well, you got guys that can cover ground out there, and Polanco, Marte especially, in center field. So I've heard both of you guys talk, when you've talked about Harper, talk about his head. You want to go a little deeper into that?
Well, I mean, we kind of touched on it earlier. When you're going low to high and you kind of crouch and your head's moving up, you're making a 4-seam fastball that's straight as a string move on you. So I don't know, where it is in the strike zone, so I can't take my hands and my barrel to the baseball consistently. If it's up high, you have a better chance. So Bryce has been hitting the high pitch lately, but when it's down low and he's moving the opposite direction with his head, now he's having trouble seeing it, and the curveball's sharper and the fastball's moving.
Yeah, I would say, anytime, as a hitter, it's tough enough to hit when your head's not moving that much. But when you're forcing yourself kind of that position, when you're down to up, and now you're starting to, like I said, you make a guy a little nastier than he is. I'll tell you what, a great sign though, as a hitter, when you have a game like Bryce Harper had last night, when you're 0 for 5 with 4 punch-outs, and you come in here and you want to play, you want to get out on that field, and you have your 2 walks in your first 2 at-bats. My biggest thing is when I'm punching out, if I punch out 4 times in the game, I have to go back to my vision and see, how well am I seeing the ball? Am I seeing it late? Am I seeing it deep? Am I making good decisions? And Bryce Harper obviously has made an adjustment so far this game.
Yeah, JT Snow and I used to always talk when I was a Giant, and our simple rule was you can't hit what you can't see. So in our work pregame and even during the game, we would try to keep our head as still as possible to be able to decipher rotation, striker, ball, and pitch. You know, is it a slider? Is it a curve? As quick as possible. And when your head's moving, you can't decipher quick enough to make a decision. Then you're kind of at the mercy of it's 2-0 and I'm auto swinging here.
There's only one guy I've seen in Major League Baseball or baseball period who could hit and really hit while moving his head a long way. And he's not human, and that's Ichiro.
Right.
So Trey Turner to center field. Marte back and now in, and he makes the catch. Now, thanks to our fine group at MLB Network and with help from you guys, a little later on in the show, we'll break down Bryce Harper's swing and give everybody at home and wherever you're watching, on whatever device you're watching, a glimpse at what these guys have been talking about. That's coming up later on in the show.
What I would say with Ichiro, though, his head's staying on the same plane. Even though he's kind of running and hitting at the same time, his head's not moving up to down. It's staying horizontal. So the pitch isn't moving on him up and down. Maybe he makes a fastball look quicker because he's going toward it sometimes, but he still knows where the ball is when he fires off his swing. That's why he's so consistent with the barrel on the baseball.
Wilmer Defoe, the hitter. Daniel Murphy getting the day off. Murphy, these last couple ball games, swinging it well and starting to look like the Daniel Murphy that National fans have come to know and love. And that's a big piece, I think, of the Nationals and their trying to steer the ship case is, yeah, we focus on Harper, but Murphy coming back, getting healthy, Wieters coming back, Adams coming back,
Zimmerman coming back soon.
Zimmerman coming back. That'll take a lot of the pressure off of Harper, you would expect, if all those guys just do what they normally do.
Well, you know, you look at Davey Martinez in his first year, you know, he's one game above 500, but man, he's had so many guys that have been down. And you're right, Rich, when you get those guys back in the lineup, you get Murphy swinging away at four hits last night or the night before. I mean, you know, if you get those guys going again, Eaton swinging it, Soto, and Bryce Harper is going to get it going at some point. I'm sorry. At some point, he's going to hit a hot streak, probably after the All-Star break. So, man, I tell you what, I think the Nationals have a shot at making a run here really soon.
And they hope that Wieters gets rolling. The Nationals have not had great production behind the plate when those catchers are at the plate. And Wieters takes inside, and so much so that there have been other catchers that have been rumored to be targets. There have been some fans. In fact, Ken, one of our viewers, wants to know what area would you like to improve if you could improve the Nationals. Many people have pointed to getting a better slugging percentage out of their catchers. Wieters into shallow right. Harrison waiting there on the shift. Fires to first in time to get the out.
I was going to say the broadcast team would be my first improvement with the Nationals.
I think you and Carp are poised for a strong second half. I think the All-Star break will do you good.
I have you as a league leader, bro. Don't sell yourself short.
Well, you know what's weird about Bryce Harper in his season this year? The home run derby traditionally has screwed people's swings up. And I feel like for some reason, it's going to help his home fans at Nats Park. It's going to lock him in for the second. I don't know why. It's just a hunch. I'm going on it. I have no basis for that hunch, but I think it's going to lock him.
What a great view we have here in Pittsburgh. Last four managers for the Washington Nationals: Davey Johnson from 11 to 13, Matt Williams a couple seasons, Dusty Baker a couple seasons, and now Dave Martinez, who many people feel and felt should have had a shot at a managing job long ago, alongside of Joe Maddon in both Tampa and in Chicago. He now gets a shot with the Washington Nationals. And Martinez has had to weather a lot of injuries. Has his team right now a game over and 5.5 back in the National League East.
It's been fun to watch Davey kind of learn on the fly first time. You know, when you're the bench coach, you could say, hey, Rich, you should do this, you should do that. But guess what? When you're the manager, the buck stops with you. So every decision you make is on you, and I think he's done a great job so far this year weathering storms.
He joins us now, the skipper of the Nationals, Davey Martinez. Skip, what's the best piece of advice or the thing you learned that you've had to use from Joe Madden for all those years?
Hey, it's process and communication. You know, we stick to the process around here. As you know, we dealt with some adversity, and we're still in a pretty good position. I'm proud of the boys.
Davey, hey man, it's Casey. Just talking to Jeremy Hellickson, I thought it was funny asking him, hey, you had Davey Martinez out there as a bench coach in Tampa, and now he's your manager. What do you think? And he said, well, he's a little more serious now. Do you have to be more serious as the manager?
Hey, it so happens that the TV's always on me, so yeah, I can't make them dumb faces.
I love it.
Hey, we have a viewer question for you, and that is the shift against left-handed hitters. We just saw one end up out in shallow right. Bryce Harper has been the subject of that. What do you see, especially with your left-handed bats and the shift right now?
You know, the shift has changed the game, especially for left-handed hitters, the pull hitters. You know, a lot of those balls that you saw, like Matty's right there, that used to be a hit when I played. Now they're just routine out. So you know, the league has made adjustments. The shift is here. So, you know, players, either they have to adjust or, you know, a lot of times they just try to beat the shift.
You know, Davey, as a first-year manager, what's been your biggest challenge? The one thing maybe you didn't expect would be hard that's been hard?
You know, the biggest thing is our health issues. I mean, that's been the toughest thing. And, you know, other than that, it's been the bullpen. You know, the usage of the bullpen, keeping those guys fresh every day, and having to bite the bullet every now and then, giving guys days off so we keep them fresh.
Davey, listen, Bryce Harper had a tough night last night, 4 punch-outs, 0 for 5, and he's in the lineup today. What did he say to you?
You know, we had a conversation last night, and I just went up to him. I said, hey, it's your call. What do you want to do? You want to play or tomorrow, or you want a day off? You know, if you want a day off, you got it. And he looked at me straight in the eye without hesitation, says he's in there tomorrow. So, you know, he gets it. He's a superstar, and he just wants to help us win every day.
And then you told him to take his walks today, and that's why you're a great manager.
Into right field, Eaton runs it down. Davey, thanks for visiting with us. Good luck the rest of the way.
Hey, thank you.
All right. Now, look, he was next to Joe Madden for so long. Just watching that interview, you can see the innovation there. Oftentimes, managers will come on and do the interview, and Clint Hurdle was great. He let us talk actually while the game was going on. Some managers get nervous and they're looking away. Davey did the entire interview watching the field so that he was multitasking. He watched the game and he spoke with us at the same time.
Yeah, he did. And you know, I've known David Martinez for a long time, and I agree with Jeremy Hellickson when he said, and you were saying it too, FP, that you know he probably should have had a big league manager job a long time ago. But I love the situation he's in here in Washington. I think he's the right guy for the job. And like you were saying, Rich, as soon as this team gets healthy, I believe you're going to see him go to another level too as a manager.
Little roller, Rendon bare hands, safe at first, one that certainly will be reviewed. Rendon made a nice play. Freeze trying to leg out a hit, and he's got it at least for the time being, and we'll get our first look here.
What if when you challenged a close call in New York, they didn't know the initial call? What if you just threw it up to Chelsea and they didn't know what the call in the field was, and they just had to review the play for what it is? They don't see the umpire's call. They just have to review it for what they're seeing there. Do you think it would influence? Because if the bottom line, you guys, is getting it right, should they really know what the initial call was? Because sometimes I think they're afraid to show up the umps on the field.
I think you're right. I think one of the surprising things about replay as an announcer, and you guys played the game at this level and announce it now at this level, is the number of times where replays, no matter the camera angles, there's still doubt. It isn't 100%, and that's why I think you have the original call that holds weight.
I think they're doing a better job too. I think you're seeing the original call.
Bell up the middle into center field. That's a hit. Freeze is going to turn second and head for third, and the Pirates have got him on the corners. Go ahead, Case.
I think you're seeing that more and more, Rich, this year, is that in the replay, they're leaning towards, if it's so close, they're leaning towards the ump's initial call. I'll tell you what, too, the fact that they look so close, that's how good these umpires are. People don't realize how good the Major League umpires are. These guys are so good at their jobs, and we sometimes on a replay review can't tell which way it went. These guys are the best in the business.
I agree.
Especially when you go on AAA rehab assignment, you're like, that's terrible. You know, sometimes you're like, come on, you're not making the biddies with those calls. You're punching me out.
I mean, when you're up here real high wearing makeup, they're the best in the business. When you're down there real low and they're calling strikes a foot outside, they stink.
Jordan Luplow up right now. Now, Luplow, not the most famous Fresno State Bulldog of his class. He was a teammate of Aaron Judge at Fresno State, which is a terrific baseball program, and a third-round pick of the Pirates, and was absolutely tearing things up in AAA before getting called up. And he takes a fastball up in a big spot here against Gio Gonzalez. Pittsburgh has a 2-0 lead on a Starling Marte 2-run homer with 2 outs. And here with 1 out, David Freese at third, Josh Bell at first. Minor League Player of the Year last year for the Pirates. Fights off a fastball. And they count 1-2.
Case, what was your biggest adjustment from AAA to the big leagues when you first got called up?
My biggest adjustment, I think, was just being able to slow down. You know, they put that third deck on. Like, ooh, that's 3 decks. I remember facing a race with Greg Maddux, and I was like, man, this is Greg Maddux. I got his rookie card. 0 for 4, 2 punch outs. I was like, I better get my head together, or I'm going to be out of here soon. I think the mental side of the game.
Back behind first, Sun's a problem. Defoe is there, makes the catch. Nobody tags.
What was yours?
You know, I thought you could see the ball better, and I also thought it was easier to hit the major leagues. Just because you could see the ball better, there was better lighting, better backdrops. I think blocking out all the exterior, they're realizing there was cameras around. If I looked up and saw cameras, I was done. If I looked up and saw 40,000 people, I was done. So I just kind of kept my head in the sand and tried to trick myself, thinking it was the same game I played in the minor leagues. In my mind, there was no third deck. It wasn't Greg Maddux, and we weren't on TV.
It's just, you were back in high school, Sandlot.
Tried.
Well, interesting spot here. You got the 8-hitter, Jordy Mercer. First base isn't open, but second base is. And Williams is on deck. And Gonzalez misses down low. Mercer is a guy that has embraced and thrived hitting 8th in the National League, which is not an easy assignment.
But Gio Gonzalez's command doesn't dictate that you pitch around him and load the bases for the pitcher right now, I don't believe.
We'll see what happens, especially if he falls behind 2-0. That one hit hard.
It's been better today, Rich. But in you know, the last 2-3 starts, he's been walking a lot of guys. So you put pressure on him with the bases loaded, even though it's the pitcher, might get into his head a little bit. I think you go after the 8th hitter here.
Marte hurt him with 2 outs, and the home run to center. He's driven in 20 runs from the 8th spot, and that's best in all of baseball. High and not too deep. Soto, looking into the sun, makes the catch. Pirates leave 2. Nice job by Gio Gonzalez as we head to the 5th. Now, earlier in the telecast, we've been talking about Bryce Harper and his mechanics. Sean Casey, FP Santangelo. Here you go. Here's a look at, and you tell us what you've seen.
Well, I'm going to defer to the good hitter here and let Sean Casey talk a lot.
This is last year when things were going well.
Well, you know what? I think, you know, you look last year, the off-speed pitches down. I think he was really on, and he was hammering right here. You see how quiet he is right there. He's right on the baseball. There's an absolute missile, another off-speed pitch.
Here's this year.
Well, here's this year. I think that you see right there, he goes down, and then he comes back up. See, up, down, and up. And it looks like pitches that are down, that are off-speed, man, he's just pulling off them. He's not seeing that last tick. As a hitter, you make your money that last 3 feet. And I think you go back and look at a guy like Derek Jeter, look at Bryce Harper. You got that line right here. Jeter's up, right, to down. Harper right here, he's down, and then he comes back up, right? His head goes into that line. when you're a hitter, you want to stay tall and act like you're stepping down off the box, right? You're tall, and then you're off the box, and you're down through the baseball. For Bryce Harper this season, it just seems like he's kind of moving all over the place. And you see last year against non-fastballs, he was 267. A lot of nitro zones here, especially that middle in. Pitch right there and down, he was so good. But this year at 157, balls down are really eating him up. I think it has a lot to do with him going down to up and making that ball move a little bit later down in the zone.
That was solid. Nicely done. I think if you sit the hit, you got to stay down in it.
Yeah.
So if I do squat, that's fine, but you got to stay down there. You can't come back up. And the reason we showed Derek Jeter's face turn green is because when he got down in there, he stayed down in there. And the reason Bryce got all red in the face is because he came up, and we showed you his helmet coming up. So now, we've said it about 1,000,000 times today, it makes the pitch move, and Jeter sees the ball low better, where Bryce Harper this year isn't.
If you start up, can you stay up?
Yeah, stack and jack, stand tall. That's the saying, stack and jack. You stand behind the baseball, you stand up tall, stack your body, and then jack. And
I always like to think that Jim Thome has a great drill that him and Charlie Manning used to do. They used to hit soft-offs off a mound. So they get on the mound, he's on the rubber, and you're standing tall, and then you're stepping down. So when you hit, you want to feel like you're stepping down the mound. That's what you really want to feel like. You don't want to feel like you're coming up, right? You don't want to feel like you're down to up. You want to feel like you're up to down, and then you're down in it with your head, with your backside, everything.
So if you guys could prescribe for Harper, would you want to see him start down, stay down, start up, stay up?
Well, right now, I'd like to see him start taller and then work his way down, right? Work his way into his legs, as opposed to, if you're staying, like FP was saying, if you're down in your legs and you're kind of staying in that position, that's okay. But if you're down in your legs and you start to come up, I think you want that. For him, I would say get taller and start working down the mound, start working down into the ball.
As a former minor league hitting coach, I would try to get my guys to keep their head as still as possible and just take all the clutter out. Because I think when you're struggling, you get advice from home, you get advice from agents, you get advice from every coach, you get advice from your teammates.
Yeah, seriously.
You get advice from tired broadcasters that couldn't hit.
I agree.
And then all of a sudden, you get so much clutter in your head. So what do you got to do? The whole clear the mechanism thing and keep it simple. See ball, hit ball, just keep your head still. However you do it. I don't care if you stand on your head and keep your head still and you get hits, do it. So that would be my advice. Just try to freeze your head. Keep it as still as possible.
Trevor Williams, Gio Gonzalez, who doubled his first time up, rolls out to third.
And trust me, there's guys down there in that first base dugout, Kevin Long and Joe Dillon, that are doing that every day with them. I think translating it to the game and controlling the pulse and the adrenaline and not wanting to do too much and get from 215 to 315 in one day is the biggest challenge for Bryce Harper.
2-0 Pirates on top. And one of our viewers, Jimmy, wants to know, Mark Reynolds, why is he not in the lineup? Wanted to see him. He certainly had a great series in Miami.
Well, where was that question when Davey was on headset? I mean, I can't answer why he's not in there. National League Player of the Week. He had an epic week. We have loved watching Mark Reynolds play. He pitched, for crying out loud, the other day and got an out. He's done everything except for fly the plane to Pittsburgh. So I have no idea why he.
Well, Rendon homered last night.
Yeah,
Adams has been swinging it pretty well.
That's probably why.
All right. Good work, Jimmy.
Get Davey back on headset. Let him start answering some of these Facebook questions.
I'm sure that's what he wants to do.
Hey,
right
Skipper.
We did ask him one. We did ask him about the shift. Here's Reynolds and the series that he had against the Marlins. He only drove in 11, 10 of those in one game. Only had 8 hits. Had a walk-off homer. And then pitched on Sunday. How did he look on the mound, by the way?
Well, he was nervous, and we could tell. He didn't come set twice. And he said it was going real fast. He said the hitter looked like he was a mile away. And he controlled the nerves after throwing 2. Well, he threw 1 to the backstop.
Did he?
Yeah, then he got it out.
I would just be scared to have a rocket come back at me. That's because if you're just slopping it up there, you're scared it's going to hit a missile right back at you.
Safety issues.
Jeez.
But he said he always wanted to do it. He's been bugging Davey Martinez to do it. He did it. And I mean, what else can you do to me? I said this the other day on the broadcast. It was a fantasy camp week for him. If you went to Nationals fantasy camp, you'd say, oh, I want to go 5 for 5. I want to hit 2 home runs. One of them be a grand slam. I want to pitch. I want to have a walk-off homer. Okay, we can arrange that for $10,000.
side.
There's a liner to right off the bat of Eaton. It slams off the scoreboard, picked up by Polanco, who has a rocket for an arm, and that's going to hold a speedy man in Eaton to just a single.
That's how hard he hit that ball. Adam Eaton can fly, and he ends up getting a single. He squares this ball up, gets a pitch out over the plate, and just stays right through it. Absolutely hits a missile. Polanco does a great job of just playing this off the wall, getting it in. He's got a cannon.
And that brings up Juan Soto. By the way, just a traffic reminder, not necessarily for the DC or the Pittsburgh area, but Joe Musgrove, who started last night for the Pirates, will join us in the inning break, and FP Santangelo will be heading to the social media booth to answer your questions and chat with the fans. That roller diving stop, Harrison, and he'll get the out. Eaton to second, Soto is out. And a bundle of energy and fun is Josh Harrison leaving his feet. Terrific play.
You got to be on your toes, and you have to anticipate the baseball to make this play. If you're thinking about your last at bat or what I'm going to do next inning coming up to bat, you don't make this. So Harrison anticipating the baseball for you younger players is the most important thing of playing the infield. Every pitch is coming to you for the entire game, so there's no surprises, and you get a jump like you just saw Josh Harrison get.
Now Rendon with Eaton at second, and for Trevor Williams, this has been a really nice start. Remember, we showed you his splits. His last 9 starts, an ERA north of 7. And here against the Nationals, he's been on it. Rendon rips one to right on a hop. Luplow has it, holding his Eaton, and a good strong throw is cut by Freese. And Rendon with a line drive, and here's the third battle between Williams and Bryce Harper coming up.
Such a quick swing, Sean. I get to watch this guy play every day. His hands are in the strike zone, a lot like Paul Molitor. Not a lot of movement, quick bat, base hit. Hit too hard to score Adam Eaton, and a hug from your first base coach is always nice.
It's tough to get knocks in the big leagues. I'll take a hug.
Yeah.
He's got great hands, doesn't he? He's got a sweet right-handed swing. Sometimes you don't see that. He's got a sweet right-handed swing, great hands, great bat speed.
Ray Searage, the highly acclaimed pitching coach of the Pittsburgh Pirates, a guy that's done a lot of great work with pitchers that have come and gone here, is on the mound for a visit.
How close his hands are to the strike zone, Case.
Look how quiet he is. See, he just gets that separation right. Hands go back, his foot, he walks away from his hands, and he is such a quick, puts all the energy into that barrel, and bam, that's, you know, when you see Rendon, it's really simple.
We've seen 2 at-bats with Williams and Harper. As you guys have pointed out, Harper's pitch recognition much better tonight than it has been lately. 4 strikeouts, 0 for 5 last night. Third at-bat now. Third time through. What changes?
I think he's going to be aggressive here. I think he wants to play. He hasn't played yet. You know, 2 walks. He's got some protection behind him. Matt Adams has hit 2 balls hard today. Deep fly ball to center, deep fly ball to right. I say he's aggressive here in
I was going to say, I think he's looking to jump something early. He's seen a lot of pitches. Every time you've seen a lot of pitches, there's nothing that his eyes haven't seen. So I think he's looking for something to jump early, too.
Shift is on. Runners at the corners. See Harrison out in shallow right. Freese still over on that left side. And Harper takes in. And it's 1-0. He walked in the first with a runner at first. A leadoff walk in the 4th.
A big part about scuffling and swinging at pitches too, you start getting into pitchers' counts. When you start seeing the ball late and getting, now you get 1-0, you get 2-0, you get 3-1. That's what Bryce is looking for.
Ooh, that's a pitcher's call. You could see on the strike zone box it was outside, well outside, and a break for Williams and a 1-1 count to Harper.
I love his reaction. Nothing you can do about it. It's 1-1. Get back in the box, get your deep breath, get ready to go.
That's a strike, and that was inside. So one was outside, the other was inside, and instead of 3-0, it's 1-2.
He didn't like that one either.
Well, hitters will tell umpires he can't have both sides, one or the other, because I can cover one, I can't cover both as a hitter.
Let's see what he goes with here at 1 and 2.
Change up.
Fastball up, and he struck him out. Trevor Williams with some help strikes out Bryce Harper, and the Nationals leave 2. FP Santangelo, good luck in the social media booth.
Go get him, buddy.
I'm going to go unfriend everyone.
Take care of business.
I'm going to block them and unfriend them. Oh, I can't wait. This is fun.
All right. Big sweet sequence there for Trevor Williams. Last night, the Pirates got a solid start from Joe Musgrove, who came over in the Garrett Cole trade. 25-year-olds look good. The Nationals did most of their damage late.
Joe had great stuff all night, was missing bats, hitting his spots, getting his off-speed stuff down in the zone. Joe's got great stuff. Huh?
And he joins us now, Joe Musgrove, world champion and Pittsburgh Pirate. How are you, Joe?
Good. How you guys doing?
Hey, thanks for joining us. Talk us through the sequence that you just saw, because a big point of this ball game was that third at bat by Bryce Harper and Trevor Williams. I know you starting pitchers sit on the rail and watch it. What did you see?
Yeah, we've had a lot of success against him with the changeup this series. He really hadn't been hitting the breaking ball that well this year, so we wanted to try to exploit that. But you know, with that being our plan of attack, you got to show him the fastballs to get him off the off speed a little bit. So I think Trevor did a really good job there of elevating at the right time and being able to put him away.
Joe, hey man, it's Sean Casey here. What's it been like for you coming over here? Obviously you're in Houston last year and come over here in the Garrett Cole trade. What's it been like for you so far, being up here with the Buccos?
It's cool. It's nice to get around a different group of guys and kind of get their view of the game and kind of pick their brains a little bit. Got a fresh clubhouse full of guys, a new staff to learn from, and a lot of new hitters to face, and you know, different opponents to go at. So I'm really enjoying it, man. It's like I said, it's a fresh opportunity here. Thanks.
You get a steady dose of some sunflower seeds, nice little Gatorade there,
yeah,
water.
I got a seed in that water too.
Hey, don't feel bad, because we had Clint Hurdle on, and actually someone was throwing seeds on him too. I've never seen a manager get rained on with seeds, and he didn't flinch.
That means they love him. That means they love him.
Let's talk about your skipper, because last year was a magic carpet ride for you as a member of the Houston Astros in that rotation. You come over, Clint Hurdle's a guy in a different situation here, but one that we all love talking to. What's he like to pitch for?
He's good. You know, he's really personable, and he takes time to communicate with us and kind of see the kind of people we are and what makes us tick. You know, it's a good transition. You know, I relate to him really well, and he's been real straightforward and honest with me. So I try to be the same with him, and I feel like that's the best way you can be successul.
See, Austin Meadows is pinch hitting here. What did you learn in your year last year? A great year with the Astros through the postseason that you'll take with you the rest of your career.
You know, I learned a lot about myself as a pitcher, about you know, how to get guys out in tough situations, and more so the mentality behind it. Going into the bullpen, that was my first time having a consistent role in the bullpen and getting to be like the 8th inning guy for a good portion of that last part of the year. And you know, I learned a lot about my routine, about what I really need to get my body ready when I'm limited to a certain amount of space and a certain amount of time to get myself prepared. You know, I learned what I really need, as opposed to as a starter, you tend to, you know, use the extra time to, you know, to create more things than what you actually need to get your body ready. So I learned how to be more efficient with my time and how to, you know, how to save some energy and really prepare myself, and you know, the mentality of one pitch at a time and one out at a time, as opposed to as a starter, I felt myself, you know, trying to figure out how I was going to get through 7 innings and how I was going to try to navigate the lineup and save weapons for later in the game, as opposed to just going out there like I did yesterday and giving them my best stuff for as long as I can.
How many of your teammates have asked to see the ring?
Everybody. We did a little ceremony when me and Mikey got our rings here, and you know, we passed them around the clubhouse, and it's something that every ball player, you know, dreams of getting an opportunity to play in. And to win it and have some hardware to show for it is pretty cool. So the guys were all really excited to take a look at it.
Nice. Well, we appreciate your time. I know you didn't win the ball game last night, but you look good. So continued success and good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Joe Musgrove of the Pirates rotation. Josh Harrison with 1 out and a 1-2 count. Gio Gonzalez has given up a 2-run homer to Starling Marte, and that's it. He's worked himself out of trouble a few times. A strikeout of Meadows to start the 5th. Starling Marte is on deck. Rich Waltz along with Sean Casey. FP Santangelo right now is chatting with those of you watching on Facebook Watch. Gonzalez, this is up with a fastball. Harrison is in the leadoff spot. That's been an area where, you know, Dickerson's been there and looked good doing it. Clint Hurdle trying to find an answer in that spot. Harrison strikes out on a 1-for-3 day.
And I think too, Josh Harrison is struggling a little bit. I think they'll put him up there and try to, get him going. Get him on the top of that order, see some pitches, maybe see some fastballs, get going. He's got 1 hit today, right? 1-for-3.
Yeah, had a single his first time up. Gio Gonzalez now with 3 strikeouts. And an economy of pitches for Gonzalez. The 62 pitches. If Gio keeps rolling like this and can get into the 6th or the 7th, that'll be a nice shot in the arm for Davey Martinez, because this bullpen, with the brevity of the starts from the rotation aside from Scherzer, this bullpen's been chewed up a bit.
They have been. They need Gio to, I mean, if he could get 7 in today, Rich, that would be a huge boost for that bullpen and the staff moving forward. And that's the tough thing about playing every day in the big leagues. As soon as your bullpen gets taxed, man, you're just hoping that a starter can give you 7, 8 innings and give those guys a break. 3-0
to Marte. He takes out. No surprise that he was careful with them. Marte's had 2 rockets in the game.
Yeah.
Allowed out to right in the first on the first pitch he saw. And then a fastball just below the knees that he hit 414 feet to straightaway center for a home run.
Yeah, it was impressive. I tell you what, it didn't look like Gio wanted to really give him anything there, but 2 out walks, they'll get you with nobody on. But it looked like Gio would rather face Polanco lefty on lefty than give Marte something to hit, because Marte's pretty locked in right now.
Now Marte also has 23 stolen bases, and I know a few viewers on Facebook want to know, is now the time to run, even though no one has stolen this year off of Gonzalez. There's 2 outs. Polanco takes a strike.
Well, Marte's one of the best base stealers in the league, obviously, and in baseball. And he's the one guy that could do it. Gio does a great job of holding guys on. Like FP was saying, maybe not the greatest move over there, but he gives different looks, slide steps, quick pitch. There's right there, just kind of let you know I know you're over there. But man, if I'm a guy like Marte with his speed, how good of a base stealer he is, I wouldn't mind taking a shot right here. 2 outs.
Matt Adams holding. Polanco's popped out twice. You have a fan in Clark.
Hey, thanks a lot, Clark. Appreciate that, man. Love talking hit.
He's running, a swing and a miss. Weeder's throw on the money.
Safe.
And did he overslide? He did.
Overslid it.
Had the bag.
Yep.
Overslid it.
He's the best in the business, but anytime you overslide the bag, that's a big time error right there. But he had the bag stolen.
Trey Turner kept the tag on, which in this modern day of replay, you always have to do. He followed him right off the base. So good work by the National shortstop. That'll go as a caught stealing. Gio Gonzalez has given up just 2 runs through 5. Steven Nelson always wanted to be a game show host, and now is his opportunity here in Pittsburgh. Steven?
Rich dreams do come true. You're on Only Live on Facebook Watch. To my right, I have Woody Jenkins. To my left, I have Jerry Jones. He says no, he cannot hook you up with Cowboys tickets. We are playing the first ever game of Family Feud. If the name sounds familiar, then the game's going to be familiar to you as well. I'm your host, not Steve Harvey. Woody, Jerry, are you guys ready? I hope we're ready. Rich, I blew it. I didn't bring a buzzer. All right, so you guys are just gonna have to hit me, okay? Okay. All right. I asked a handful of former ball players the top 5 things that a pro big leaguer can't survive a season without. So the top 5 answers are on the board. The top 5 things that a big leaguer can't survive without. Wins. No, okay. You're supposed to buzz in, Jerry. Oh, I buzzed. Oh, he buzzed. He buzzed. He's gonna snake you. All right. Wins was the number 5 answer. So that means, Jerry, you have a chance to snake and steal here.
Okay. Let's see. I would say. God.
Jerry, you're lucky there's no time limit in this game of Family Feud.
That's true. Yeah. Support. Fan support.
The judges are saying that camaraderie, a good wingman, and teammates is the number 3 answer. So, Woody, I am sorry. That means you lose, and that means that you have to toss wiffle balls to Sean Casey. And I got to tell you, it's a dangerous thing. Normally hits people in the face.
Oh, well, that's just the way it goes, you know. Things happen that way, and I'll just have to take it as it comes.
So, Jerry, that means you move on a little bit later. You're going to play for a prize, all right? Are you ready?
Good, I'm ready.
Jerry Jones, not the owner of the Cowboys, or is he? Moving on here in the first ever game of Family Feud. No, it's not, Jerry. Back to you guys in the booth.
All right, we'll see if the pilot gets picked up. When we look for Jerry later in the telecast, there's the Clemente Bridge. This is one of the really cool ballparks, not only for the view, but the vibe around the park. As Richard Rodriguez takes over, Trevor Williams went 5, did not give up a run, gave up just 4 hits, and Rodriguez takes over. Matt Adams, Trey Turner, Wilmer Defoe. But the neighborhood around this ballpark on game night, a lot of fans park downtown and walk across the bridge. You can see the numbers for Rodriguez. ERA in the mid-2s. And that fastball.
Well, Pittsburgh's got some great restaurants now. The scene over there is great. You know, the restaurants, the bars over there. It's a great place to just hang out before the game, after the game. You know, Pittsburgh in the last 5 years has really changed a ton. So the city's been great. This park's wonderful. Come across the many bridges, they close it. It's great.
Matt Adams in this ball game has a lot of distance, but nothing to show for it. That's about a 390-foot shot there. This was about 375. Polanco nabbed it.
That was a rope right there. The second, both of them were hit well, but that second one by Adams, I'm sure he was frustrated that, you know, they kind of had him played perfectly. Polanco was kind of in that nook right there, in right center. Did a great job of getting beat on that ball.
That's an 0 for 2 where you feel like you've done everything just about right.
Well, you know what, Matt Adams, he has found a home here in Washington. Look what he's doing with his ranks so far. I mean, this guy, I thought was always a great hitter. I feel like didn't get a huge fair shake in St. Louis. He's come here to Washington and really found a home.
Rodriguez strikes him out, and that'll bring up Trey Turner. First base production for the Nationals. Of course, you'll see Reynolds there, and that series in Miami certainly have helped these numbers out.
Oh yeah, 8 for 10 with 10 ribbies in one game. That'll help you big time. But you know, listen, anytime you're getting this kind of production, this is the kind of production you expect from the first base position. But they you know, with Reynolds and Zim going down, but with Matt Adams, what he's done, it's been good spot for the Nationals.
You know, impressively too, he took a lot of weight off last year. He's kept it off this year. The Pilates
is great.
That he started. He dropped 30 pounds.
He looks great. He's lean, and when he's in the outfield, I think he does a nice job out there. He's not going to hurt you. He's going to make every routine play he needs to make, and when you can put him at first base, he does a nice job handling himself over there.
Rodriguez, Dominican right-hander. Fastball misses up, 6'4", 205, so he's kind of tall and lanky and does throw hard. So the guy spent a lot of time in the minor leagues, the Astros organization, Baltimore. Pittsburgh signed him as a minor league free agent. Got to the big leagues for the first time with Baltimore last year, and he's pitched well here. Had a spell on the disabled list, shoulder inflammation, good strikeout numbers, and he struck out Adams. And that 2-2 is just up. And 93 miles an hour is 3-2. Been a big strike zone today. The few that have been called outside the box. Especially on that last Harper at bat.
Yeah, it looks like Harper thought he was 3-0. Turned out he 1-2.
And that fastball runs in. And Trey Turner is aboard. Now Turner can run. And with a lot of success he's run in his career. And here is Defoe.
Turner's definitely a guy he didn't want to lose right there. Turner getting on base that can turn that walk into a double really quick.
For whatever reason, Wilmer Defoe loves Pittsburgh. He is 8 for 13 against the Pirates this season.
Hey, there's some parks. It's so funny. It doesn't matter who you face as a hitter. There's sometimes some parks, the backdrop or whatever it is, man, you just see everything. And for Defoe, he loves this place.
Defoe a single in the fourth. 1 for 2 day here. Turner's leaning. .22 stolen bases, 4th in the National League. Michael Taylor of the Nationals has got 23. Marte's got 23, and Ender Inciarte of the Braves at 23 as well. And the count 0-2. Trevor Williams, 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. The biggest of which was the strikeout of Harper.
Big confidence booster, I think, Rich, today for Trevor Williams. Really attacked the strike zone, had his secondary pitches working, good changeup.
That looks like 2. Mercer flips. Harrison turns in time for the double play. And Rodriguez erases the walk. Defoe bounces into a double play. And the Pirates, the bullpen picks up where Trevor Williams left off. One of the storylines not only going into this ballgame but into this season for the Nationals, Bryce Harper approaching a free agent year. Here's a look and a listen.
This guy is one of the best to play the game.
Harper launches one. See you way later. That's number 21.
Oh my goodness.
He doesn't know how much longer he's going to be wearing a Nationals uniform. They were so close last year. They've yet to win a playoff round.
He's been so fun to watch. The guy's an MVP, and it takes a very strong character to be able to put all that stuff aside.
Not going to answer any questions. So if you guys do answer anything or talk about anything about that, then I'll be walking right out the door.
Harper is an amazing player. He's a unique player. I mean, whoever he goes to is going to make them exponentially better.
Last 6 seasons with the Washington Nationals. This is a window that's been open. It still is open right now. The Nationals, you go back to 2012, only one other team has won more games in the National League in that run, and that's the Dodgers. But of course, you're measured by how you do in the postseason, and the Nationals have been unable to get out of the National League Division Series, losing to the Cardinals, the Giants, the Dodgers, and the Cubs.
That's a good question.
FP's back.
Well, I'll tell you what, my family was tough on those comments.
Your family?
My mom and dad, my kids, it was tough.
All right, Harper, look, well, we can sit here all day and talk about different teams. I guess the question for both of you is free agent year. We showed you the window that's open, and some feel might be starting to close a little bit. Any of those pressures affect on the field and the slump that he's in right now?
See, those are questions you have to ask him. It's hard for me to answer. It would affect me. I know that if I had a chance to set up generations forever with a huge contract. I don't know if it's affected Bryce. It would appear that it may be, but it's hard for me to get in his head and answer that question for him.
I would say you're human. You're talking about, I mean, the money that Scott Boras is throwing around they're going to be asking for is astronomical. So I think when he started off hot, then he started to scuffle, I think it can get in your head a little bit. I have no doubt about it.
Now, we asked that very question to Davey Martinez, and Martinez said he didn't think that the weight of the team on his shoulders had affected him that much, but he said, look, this is a guy that just wants to win, and it's that burning desire to win right now that maybe has forced him to try to do too much, overly aggressive, thus the higher strikeout rate, the higher swing and miss rate, the lower walk rate, the trouble with breaking balls and soft stuff.
Yeah, and posting today after striking out 4 times last night shows that he wants to win. Yeah. But I would say if player X wants to win,
right,
and that's the #1 goal, then player X, whether it's Bryce Harper or Gregory Polanco or Andrew McCutcheon, whoever, has to show me on a daily basis by example. What does that mean? You're flying all over the campsite. You're running out every single ground ball. You're breaking up double plays. You're running defenses. You're leading by example, and you're showing me how bad you want to win. So I think that's an indicator for me on any player, Bryce Harper, Sean Casey, whomever. That's how you show me you want to win. You play every single day. You play your tail off every day. You hustle everywhere you go, and you do everything it takes to win a baseball game, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be 3 for 4. There's other ways to beat a team.
And of course, I think the lesson that we all learn in baseball, and Mike Trout is probably the best example, one player cannot carry a team. One player can't put everybody on his shoulders and walk you across the finish line.
No, especially a position player. Obviously, I think it all starts on the mound. Getting Steven Strasburg back on that mound is going to be a huge boost for this whole club because, you know, he's electric, one of the best in the game. And you put him and Max at the top of that rotation. I think it changes everything. But, you know, a guy like Bryce Harper is a game-changing player, but over 162, you need those horses on the mound.
I'll tell you this, if Max Scherzer was an everyday player, he's a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Okay. That's a great example.
He only plays 1 out of every 5 days, but he gives you everything he's got on that 5th day. He runs out every baseball to first. If he doesn't have his A stuff, his B stuff will beat you. If he doesn't have B stuff, his C stuff will beat you. He competes on the mound. He competes in the batter's box. He gives it everything he has, and maybe that's a lot easier when you're not playing every day. But if Max Scherzer was an everyday player, he's exactly what I'm talking about.
Francisco Cervelli here. He's lined out, popped out. Gio Gonzalez venturing into the 6th. And even though the Nationals are down right now, just the fact that Gio is pitching well in the 6th, has a pitch count that if he gets through this inning could probably go through the 7th, is a nice thing for Davey Martinez.
He's made one mistake, if you want to call it that, to Starling Marte. Pretty good pitch.
It wasn't a bad pitch, yeah.
Marte just beat a good pitch because he's a good hitter. I'm a big fan of Starling Marte. I've always liked what he's brought to the table, and since he's kind of dialed in the strike zone, he's not swinging at everything. He's become even better.
See that pitch right there, a little off the plate. Cervelli's like, no, we'll take it when you give it to us, but not against me. I need that.
Or you see Karen's comment that the Nationals need another pitcher. That's a worthy question for both of these teams. What for the Pirates? What do you think the Pirates need? I mean, I'm not saying they're going to trade for it now, but what's the next piece that they need?
I think the Pirates need someone that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. I mean, I think they scuffle in that area. They need a guy that's a threat every night to leave the yard, and you can never have enough starting pitching. And their bullpen's really been their Achilles heel this year so far, so they need arms.
Yeah, I think the Nats could use a starter, but at what price? That's what it always comes down to. I don't think Jacob deGrom's going to be available. You don't want to make teams in your own division that much better and make your road to coming back that much harder.
Turner in the hole, fires to first in time. Now the Pirates are they're kind of in middle ground right now in baseball. It's not a full-blown rebuild. They do have some youth, but they also have some potential trade pieces. Harrison Dickerson's been terrific as a Pirate. Francisco Cervelli teams looking for a catcher, the Nationals included. Jordy Mercer's at 31, and a veteran starter in Nova at 31. It's in baseball, it's a diminishing group, isn't it? Middle ground. It seems like, especially in the American League, you're either blowing it up or you're contending.
Or you're going for it.
And that middle ground is a real delicate spot.
I'll tell you this, give me 9 Corey Dickersons and some pitching, I'll win a division.
I agree.
He's been outstanding this year, and I know he's a good trade piece, so if you did trade him, you better get
something back.
For him.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
because he's under control for a while.
Neil Huntington is going to definitely look for something, good that he can get back. But those are good veteran pieces out there that a team could use down the stretch, and that the Pirates have.
With postseason resume too. That's big when you're making a trade. You want guys that have played in October before and know what it's like.
Sean Casey will be headed to our social media booth. Was it catered? Was it catered over there? Did they take care of it?
Yeah, we had sushi.
Nice. Avocado on top, real nice.
You just go behind the curtain. There's not even a fan back there, so good luck at that.
Oh man,
everyone's going to tell you how much.
I'm sweating with 2 fans on.
Everyone's going to tell you how much you stink too.
Line up, because you can pepper the mayor with questions in the next half inning. He's headed in your direction. David Freese is 1 for 2. And a sharp ground ball into center field. Couple hits for the veteran third baseman. And that'll get Josh Bell in at bat here in the 6th inning. Now, Gio Gonzalez is at 85 pitches. Davey Martinez, along with a trainer, jogging to the mound. It's not a great sign. And Gonzalez with his hat off and his glove off, gingerly walking behind the mound. It was a chopper over the middle. Let's see if he reached for it or lunged for it.
It's like a calf or something.
Yeah, trying to stretch it out, isn't he? What do you got?
Ankle.
It was an awkward turn, wasn't it?
He might have twisted his ankle, maybe. Right?
We got high tops on, so that bodes well for the ankle.
He's going to stay in. Let's see if he throws a pitch or two just to test it. You'll face Bell, who is 1 for 2. They make him tough in Hialeah.
I'll tell you what, he posts. I mean, he's 33 starts a year. He can mark it down.
And he didn't need a warm-up toss. He's going to face Bell here.
If I was Josh Bell, I'd want a warm-up toss. I want to know where this one's going.
Hello.
Fastball is up. Gio still testing that foot, it seems. Three strikeouts, a walk, 6 hits. One of those hits, the 2-run homer by Starling Marte, and Bell takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Bell, the 25-year-old switch hitter, big guy, 6'2", 230. Had a really nice rookie year last year, led all National League rookies in hits, doubles, second in home runs. Popped 26 homers last year. He's hit 5 this year. And Gio Gonzalez freezes him with a fastball. A little bit hobbled off the mound. And a nice sequence for the veteran left-hander. Bell strikes out. Sean Casey, good luck in the
man, good luck, guys.
Social media.
Get back some sushi.
Sweet. A reminder, baseball's 2 biggest events of the summer are back-to-back. Action starts on the T-Mobile Home Run Derby on ESPN Monday at 8 Eastern. And then the biggest stars hit the stage, 89th Major League Baseball All-Star Game presented by MasterCard and FP Santangelo's home ballpark in Washington, D.C. Tuesday on Fox. Coverage starts at 7:30 Eastern. And a reminder, you're watching, of course, on Facebook Watch on a device. If you really want to go modern, like all the broadcasters in Major League Baseball and a lot of fans are now, especially the mobile ones, MLB.TV, the All-Star sale is here. $39.99 every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Get a free subscription to MLB at Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Sale ends on Sunday. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this sale. Final vote, National League All-Stars. Aguilar, last I checked, was on top. Brandon Belt is deserving of an All-Star bid. Matt Carpenter's had a terrific year. Max Muncy has been a very nice surprise for the Dodgers. And Trey Turner for the Nationals. 22 bags, 55 runs. Voting ends today at 4 Eastern, so you got an hour and a half. That's the benefit of minimizing the screen and then going online and giving your final vote.
We can't go wrong with any of those choices, really. Aguilar is a tremendous story. Out of nowhere, having all that success after spending so much time in the minor leagues. They're voting.
On the mound now, Edgar Santana. So the Pirates need some help from their bullpen. Trevor Williams went 5. Matt Wieters leads it off. Santana pitched well on Monday against the Nats. Struck out the side on just 11 pitches and has had 6 consecutive appearances without giving up a run. Richard Rodriguez got a double play ball to end the 6th, and it's Santana here. Wieters up the middle, almost over shifting as Mercer adjusting to his right.
Yeah, what we say early in the game today in the broadcast, it's a great day to pitch. I mean, there's been one swing that's the difference in this game. It's a 7th inning right now. Matt Wieters going back up the middle, little ricochet piece. He'll score that 1-6-3 if you're scoring on Facebook, which you should be. But it's just tough for these players now. The quick turnaround, the long game last night. I mean, they're waking up at 8 in the morning and then coming back here. Hey, you're getting paid a lot of money. It's big leagues, I get it. But as an athlete, to have 4 hours of sleep and come out here and perform, especially with no help. I mean, now it's drink as many Red Bulls and coffee as you can to get up for the game. Back in the day, it was other things. I mean, it's not easy.
Brian Goodwin is getting the at bat for Gio Gonzalez. 6 innings for Gio, and I think a real positive outing for him. Goodwin, a guy that's really earned his way to the big leagues. The University of North Carolina.
Breakout season last year with 13 home runs for the Nats. Doing a nice job filling in for injured players all last season. Hasn't really got a shot to play a whole lot this year.
Goodwin up the middle into center field. A solid hit. Now the Nationals have had traffic. They had traffic against Trevor Williams. He walked a couple in the 1st. They had the leadoff double from Gio Gonzalez, of all people, in the 3rd. 2 base runners in the 4th. 2 more in the 5th. And Williams was able to navigate around it.
It's such a bonus for any ball club when you can get the bottom of the order on base. Then the lineup turns over, and here comes the big boys. So for Gio Gonzalez and the Nats, they're thinking this is the inning.
Eaton lined one off the wall in right, was held to a single and a strong throw by Gregory Polanco. Lined out back in the 3rd, bounced out in the 1st.
And for Clint Hurdle and the Pirates, he's thinking matchup baseball. I'm going to get my relievers in where they need to be here in this inning. Maybe you see some action in the Pirates bullpen.
Well, you got Eaton, Soto, Rendon, and if things progress, Harper should get an at bat. That fastball at 95 is just out, and Eaton's gone to 2-0. Great on base numbers. 394 coming in. Cervelli turning to the home plate umpire, Jerry Meals, and he's going to go out for a visit. And Edgar Santana gets a big hug and an earful of advice.
Well, it's getting dramatic. The Pirates down to 3 mound visits.
Can you call in a lifeline?
You can phone a friend, I think. But I mean, it's getting risky now.
As we noted earlier, that it feels like pitchers, catchers, managers, everybody has adjusted to that rule. Goodwin the runner at first. Eaton sitting on a 2-0 pitch from Santana. Flips it in the air to left. Luplow is there and he makes the catch. And so Santana has his second out. And here's the rookie Juan Soto.
The 2-0 game. Juan Soto hitting 7th inning. Do you go after him here? Do you go with the guy on deck who's swinging the bat even better? I don't know. This is a tough decision. How do you approach Juan Soto here? I think with the ballpark being so big in left center field, you make Juan Soto beat you the other way. The book on Soto lately has been pound him in, see if he can handle the fastball in. He can shoot one in the bleachers here. We saw that in the first game of this series.
You said it early in the telecast. Teams are still trying to figure out how to pitch to him as a result. And in concert with that, I think teams are still trying to figure out how to defend him. Where do you shift? Where do you shade?
Trying to figure out how to pitch him, where to play him. It's the benefit of using all the fields. You know, we talk about beating the shift. How about spraying the ball as a hitter? Now you can't shift me.
Soto takes out. Right now, Freese is off the line at third. And Mercer is shaded to his left at short. Everything else is pretty standard. Amazing season for a 19-year-old. And that great strike zone recognition. That was up just barely. The count 2-1.
Stick of damage right here.
Time for an off-speed pitch, and that was a beauty.
Nasty changeup by Santana. We talked to Davey Martinez before the game, and he said it might have been a slider that just kind of spun in there watching the replay. Check that. It was a slider that acted as a changeup. It didn't break a whole lot. But the Nats skipper was talking about how the league's starting to pitch Juan Soto backwards. What's that mean? Well, off speed and fastball counts.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Starling Marte 2-run homer is held up here this afternoon in Pittsburgh. John Casey right now in a furious flurry of social media questions. Soto patient. Count out 3-2.
So Juan Soto, one of the few guys in the big leagues that makes 2-strike adjustments. Check it out. He'll spread out his stance. He'll choke up on the bat. He doesn't take a lot out of his swing, but he just likes to get down in there. See that, you know, he's on the knob until he gets to 2 strikes. Then he chokes up with 2 strikes. And watch him spread out and kind of crouch down to get right in there with the pitch.
Goodwin will be moving. Full count, 2 outs. 3-2. And he got him. A swing and a miss. Santana, terrific pitch. Off speed, gets him. Soto is down and another runner left for the Nationals. The Nationals title window. Now they've been to the postseason 4 times, but I mean getting further than that. Is that window closing? Here's a look and a listen.
I hope you're ready to hear this name an awful lot tonight. Steven Strasburg of San Diego State, the #1 prospect on draft night.
Washington Nationals select Steven Strasburg.
One of the best that they've seen at this level.
You know, I didn't really know what I was getting into. So thankful to have my family and friends around me on that special day.
This was a guy, Al, that left high school because he was tired of getting walked. No doubt all-star ability.
As a teenager, he had 22 home runs, most ever by a teen.
Who's the #1 starter of the Washington Nationals? Well, the debate is over.
Max Scherzer joins the best rotation in baseball, 7 years, $210 million.
He's an absolute bona fide ace. He fortifies that rotation.
In a time where there's parity, this is as close to a super team as we're going to have.
They're so ridiculously talented, but still haven't won a playoff series.
It's popped up, and the Cardinals head to their 7th NLCS since 2000.
The Los Angeles Dodgers are headed to Chicago.
And the Nationals experience defeat again in front of their home fans here at Nationals Park.
Pretty upset we lost, and, you know, it's just it's not how I wanted my year to end, definitely.
Well, this is a shame because, like, the Nationals deserve better, like, through all their success. Do you think it's a thing? We fell in the first round of the postseason.
Here it comes. He struck him out.
And the national season comes to an end in some bitter fashion.
There is an element of unfinished business here with the Washington Nationals.
For the Nationals this season, getting there is going to be a challenge. They're just a game over. They're 5.5 back. To help them get there and then try to get past the division series, areas of need. We've identified catchers in terms of production at the plate, and you noted starting pitching. Ever since early June, the starting pitching has lacked aside from Max Scherzer. Now Steven Strasburg comes back after the break.
Well, I mean, the pitching was stretched out early in the season. It was 115, 120, a lot of guys with high pitch counts, and I think maybe, you know, a little dead arm period is happening right now with the starting rotation. Then the bullpen had to pick them up. But, you know, Rich, I live in D.C. year-round now. I moved there about 4 years ago. And all the talk in the winter is about the Nats getting out of the first round.
Sean Kelly's pitch to Jordan Luplow as a bouncer to third, and Rendon throws him out.
And as a baseball guy, I'm thinking they have to get there first. I don't think people realize how hard it is to win one Major League Baseball game, let alone win a division. And for everyone to assume that the Nats were just going to roll through this season and win the National League East again, I thought was pretty presumptuous. I mean, there's a 162-game grind. Anything can happen in a 162-game. You knew the division was going to get better. The Phillies obviously are better. The Braves better. You knew that in the offseason. The Mets were older. You were wondering if they were going to, you know, stay together and stay healthy throughout the season. But, you know, I was telling all my friends in D.C. that, hey, they got to get there first. So this getting out of the first round assumption, you got to get there, and it's not easy. It's not easy to win one game, let alone win a division. I don't care who you are or how many times you've been there.
Well, they've set the bar high in terms of wins. 97 last year, 95 in 2016. As I noted, since that window opened in 2012, only the Dodgers have won more games in the National League. They've won 4 of the last 6 division titles.
I don't think the window's closed.
Jordy Mercer takes out. Sean Kelly is on the mound. Kelly kind of came off the mound after delivering that pitch. He takes over for Gio Gonzalez. Positive news for the Nationals. Gonzalez goes 6. Looks good doing it. Would like to have that fastball to Marte back, but it was a pitch that was almost below the knees, and Marte hit it to straightaway center. It's a pretty good pitch. That's the difference in the game. A 2-run homer. Colin Moran, a lefty bat, is on deck. Three and 2.
Something happened on this pitch. You noted that he walked off the mound. It's kind of a funny finish and a long walk to the side that you normally don't see Sean Kelly do.
Mercer cranks one down the left field line into the corner. Soto after it, and Jordy Mercer with a 1-out double, his second double on a 2-for-3 day.
Another good swing by Mercer. Like a fastball that he just turned on. Short, compact swing, having a nice day. Pirates trying to add on to their 2-0 lead.
We talked earlier with Joe Musgrove, and he was part of the Garrett Cole trade coming from Houston. So is this guy. Colin Moran has been a really nice find for the Pirates and their front office, and Neil Huntington, Kyle Stark. He was part of that trade, and he's played well at third base. Guy that at one time was a high draft pick, first-round draft pick for the Miami Marlins, was traded after a year and a half in the system to Houston, and has found a home and found playing time with Clint Hurdle.
A few games in Houston last year, got himself a ring.
Now I know that you had a playing career with the Expos and the Giants and the Dodgers and the Athletics. You got a World Series ring as a broadcaster, right?
2010 Giants. Yeah, I was doing the pregame and postgame for the Giants, a radio show, postgame radio show, and Larry Bear was kind enough to include me in on that.
That's awesome.
It's a lifelong dream of mine to have a World Series ring, and I have it.
Were you surprised when it happened?
Yeah. Kind of emotional too. Grew up a Giants fan, played for the Giants, coached for the Giants, and then broadcast for them, so they included me in on it. And the best part about that organization is you play there 1 year, you're a Giant for life. Your family, and they've always been great to me.
Yeah,
I'll always be.
It's a classy organization. Huh?
Yeah, they are. Always be grateful for that.
Moran takes down low with Mercer at second. Pittsburgh a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the 7th.
I feel like those teams that won those 3 championships with Posey and Lincecum and Kane and all those guys will be legends forever.
Absolutely.
So, just forever.
Cody Ross.
Cody Ross.
Never buy a meal again in the city of San Francisco.
Marco Scutaro.
Freddie Sanchez, right? Wasn't Freddie there?
Yes.
I don't think he played, but he was there. He was hurt.
Freddie was there, but Scutaro had that great postseason.
I just got the ring. I was outside a restaurant and somebody said, "Oh, is that a World Series ring?" I said, "Yeah." "Can I try it on?" "Be careful, it's big." It was on a hill on the sidewalk in San Francisco. It fell off the woman's finger and rolled a half a block down the street.
How did it look when you picked it up?
It looks terrible, actually.
Oh, man. Clean it up, FP. Don't be just passing the ring out to anybody.
There's nicks and chips, and I got to take it into the jewelry store and get it fixed. But I still have one. Be careful. Oh.
Full count to Moran. Harrison's on deck. Mercer at second. A little pop-up. Going back to what you said about a minute ago, how those Giant teams, legends, right? Get to the postseason those 3 years, get all the way and win it all. It's interesting how we look at these two teams. The Pirates got their 3 years in a row as a wild card. In fact, they ran into Bumgarner, and then Arrieta the next year. And then the Nationals, 4 exits in the first round, a swing and a miss by Moran. You have that success. You all of a sudden figure it out in the postseason. And that's what you're remembered for. And the Giants weren't winning 95, 97 games each year when they won those World Series. But to Case's point, you have success in the postseason. You have Kane and Lincecum and, of course, Bumgarner.
Yeah, Posey. Like you said, Cody Ross. You'll be remembered forever. I mean, those teams were, even Hunter Pence.
Fear the beard.
Fear the beard. And when they were down 2-0 to Cincinnati and they came back and won 3 in that first round division series.
It's just about taking the next step. I mean, for the Pirates, for the Nats, I mean, just getting there and playing well into the playoffs. I think, you know, the teams that have to play in. The Giants won their first World Series in 2010 by winning the 162nd game against the Padres to get into the playoffs. So they were playing playoff games before the playoff games, and they just kind of rolled through it.
Harrison takes in.
You know, the Nats have won the division by 20 games, and, you know, however many games over 500, you go cruise control for the month of September. Then you got to gear up in October, and all of a sudden you have 4 days off, and the whole world's watching one game, and you got to find a way to get that momentum and create it. And for the Pirates, I mean, living on the edge, having to play one game every year to get into the playoffs has to be torture for fans. I can't imagine. I mean, right now, you take it, right? If you're a Pirates fan, you say, we'll take that one-game playoff.
Well,
right
you know
now.
what? Yeah, now you would. But those 3 years, the 1 year when they beat Johnny Cueto when he dropped the ball on the mound, and it was the most electric I've ever seen a sporting event in Pittsburgh. There was a blackout. It was a packed house. The place was going crazy. There's so much rich history here in Pittsburgh. They love the Pirates. So when the Pirates are winning, this city rallies around them.
It was 2013. They would beat the Reds in that wild card game and lose in 5 in the division series to the Cardinals. And then it was Bumgarner in 14 and Arrieta in 15. Despite winning 98 games in 15, they were in that wild card game and lost to the Cubs. That one flipped out of the reach of the Nationals into the seats. And Harrison right now with a count 2-2. Josh single back in the first, is punched out twice. Sean Kelly's first inning, and he bounces one. Well, Harrison, you've got Marte on deck. Marte has had the big hit in the ballgame, the 2-run homer, and a loud and deep line drive out.
Sean Kelly's been walking around the mound a lot. He's been banged up over the years. He's been healthy this year for the Nats, and he's been pitching very well. But I've been watching him after pitches. He's taking long strolls. He's walking behind the mound, and I think he's trying to power through something right now, and I have no idea what it is.
Good pitch there, in on his hands. Defoe out, Eaton in, and it's Defoe who makes the catch. Kelly pitches around the 1-out double by Mercer. 7th inning stretch has come and gone here in Pittsburgh. Let's head down to Steven Nelson. Steven.
What's going on, fellas? We are back here to finish up Family Feud. And it was Jerry Jones won round 1. Woody Jenkins lost, but he's lingering like a fart. Don't worry, I'm kidding, Woody. You smell great. You smell great. Okay, so Jerry, you ready? This is the Facebook fact.
I'm ready.
So I'm going to serve you a trivia question. You answer it right, you get a prize. So Justin, here's the prize here.
Oh.
Yeah. Marvel at the pulled pork pierogi hoagie sold here at PNC Park. Does that look good?
Indeed. That'll do it.
If you get it right, this is yours. If you get it wrong, it's Woody's.
I'm gonna get it right. Come on.
Okay. So the question is, name the player in Washington Nationals / Expos franchise history with the most All-Star game appearances.
Bryce Harper. Correct.
You are close, but incorrect. He has 6. He has
Pedro?
6.
Pedro?
Rock,
close. If he's way off, I can get
Gary
it.
Carter.
Rock Reigns and Gary Carter tied with 7. Now, Woody, I'm going to let you try and answer one to steal. Can you name the Pirate with the most All-Star game appearances in franchise history?
Barry Bonds.
No. I haven't a clue.
I'm going to guess.
No, I can't. I don't want to embarrass myself. It might be Clemente, but
Roberto Clemente is the right answer. You kind of.
Oh! So I get it.
You know what? Friends of 15 years, you guys can split the pulled pork pierogi hoagie.
I want to
Yeah. All right. While they chow down on the food here, fellas, I'm going to throw a question to you guys and the people in the comment section. You heard Jerry mention Bryce Harper with 6 All-Star game appearances for the Nats. You wonder if he's going to get to 7. Which team is Harper playing for in 2019? Comment section, have at it. And I'm not sure, did the booth talk about the things they need to survive? FP, Case?
In terms of food, like a pierogi, like that? Yeah.
No, that'll help. That'll help. But during the season, I'll let you guys hash over that. But FB had a good one with the walk-up song. Case had sugar-free bazooka gum.
I need the sugarless gum. I also need the Bose radio in the back of the plane.
There's a lot of things I couldn't say on that one. Had to keep it clean.
Anthony Rendon, Bryce Harper, Matt Adams, Kyle Crick continues the parade out of the bullpen, an inning each for Richard Rodriguez and Edgar Santana. And now Crick in this trio in relief of Trevor Williams, who went 5 scoreless, walked 3, struck out 3. Rendon's lined out, singled, and walked. And Crick with a fastball for a strike there. 11 consecutive scoreless outings. He's on a really nice run. Last 18 outings, hitters hitting just 155 against him.
they got a few nice pieces in those trades. I mean, they got Crick back for McCutcheon. You got Musgroves, who's had a nice year so far in the rotation. Moran's done a nice job at third base. Going to be a good left-handed bat. You know, Feliz has kind of been up and down in the bullpen, but they did get some pieces back in the McCutcheon Cole trades.
Rendon to left. Luplow is in. And there's one out here in the 8th. If you're just happening by, Bryce Harper in this ball game is 0 for 1. He's walked twice and struck out. That's an improvement from last night. 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts. 2 good at bats in the walks, and in the strikeout there were 2 calls in the at bat, a pitch that was well out and a pitch that was well in, that were both called strikes. And he ended up swinging and missing a hot fastball, and that came with 2 runners on. And it was a big moment in the 5th.
I think the one thing the Nats have to guard against moving forward is, for years they've been in first place by a lot of games. They're used to being 20 games over 500. You know, when you are 5.5 games back and you're right around 500, you have to play makeup ball. What does that mean? Well, you know, moving forward after the All-Star break, every single game matters. So the day games after the night games where it's tough to get up, maybe in the past you didn't have to get up for those games because you won the first 2 games in the series. But now, if you want to get to where you want to get to and win a division and get to the postseason and get over the hump, as Davey Martinez says, there's no days off from here on out. I mean, you can't just go out there on a certain day and just go, oh gosh, I'm tired today, I'm not feeling today, I'm banged up. You have to find a way to generate some sort of emotion and some sort of passion and urgency to win every single game. And you're not gonna, but you know, go down trying really hard, I guess is the way to put it. I don't know.
That ball to left. Luplow is there and makes the catch. Some would argue that right there is an advantage going into the postseason. If you have to fight and scratch and claw to get there, oftentimes those are the teams that have momentum, if you will.
Yeah.
Even if they don't have their number 1 starter ready.
Meaningful games at the end of September, you got to kind of battle to get into the postseason. You just kind of carry it on because, listen, especially that 1-game playoff, or if you have a short 5-game series and you're already playing good baseball, you just need a couple quick wins and there's the series, right? As opposed to the teams that, hey, we can rest. We're 20 games up. We can rest a couple guys here and there, then try and reboot it. Sometimes that's tough.
I agree. It's a good point.
Adams is 0 for 3.
Hit the ball well all day, though.
2 warning track shots. And most of the time, it's a wild card team that experiences that. You know, every now and then you get a wild card team that wins 97 games or 96 games and knows they're in the wild card.
Like the Pirates won 98.
Like the Pirates, right, yeah. Exactly. But, I mean, you look at the American League right now, it feels like the wild card is down to, there's only 3 teams playing for the wild card right now. And the teams that, when you get to September, very easily, all those races could be done if everything holds when you get to the 3rd week of September.
My only playoff experience was in Oakland in 2001, and we were 102-60, and we were the wild card.
Wow,
Mariners
really?
won 116 games.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That one to right is deep. Polanco.
Wow.
Adams 3 warning track shots.
He's just missed 3 balls there. Not just missed, he crushed them, one in the gap, but 2 warning track balls.
Yeah, that was the least of the 3, that one right there, that he's hit. So 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Crick. And the Pirate bullpen, 3 scoreless in support of Trevor Williams. And it's still 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Pirates homestand continues tomorrow. It's a 5-gamer against the Brewers with a doubleheader on Saturday. Get your tickets at pirates.com. See Starling Marte, Polanco, Bell, Harrison at PNC Park before the All-Star break. Pirates and a fun team to watch, the Milwaukee Brewers. Following the All-Star break, Nationals will host the Braves for a 3-game series starting July 20th. Steven Strasburg might just start one of those 3 games, and as FP pointed out, that series and the Braves matchup will be huge in the second half. Tickets available at nationals.com. Just a look back at what we've seen today on a bright sunny day here in Pittsburgh. Both starters were sharp, Trevor Williams and Gio Gonzalez. That was the pitch to Marte. Too much of the plate. It was down low, and Marte hit it 414 feet. And those are the only 2 runs of the ball game. Not a bad, live on Facebook Watch.
Not a bad pitch by Gonzalez. Marte, a great piece of hitting right there. Almost 9-ironed that thing out of here.
Davey Martinez, Derek Lilliquist, his pitching coach, have dipped into that bullpen a little deeper. Justin Miller for the Nationals. A Tiger, a Rocky, and a minor league contract with the Nationals this year. He's up now. And Miller gets Marte right out of the chute. Gregory Polanco, Francisco Cervelli to follow. How much Pirates garb did you have in your closet?
Oh, tons. Well, the great thing was all the giveaway nights. You know, you get like a Pop Stargell jersey or something. You know, I mean, all the stuff they gave you. But I had a ton of Pirate stuff.
Who was your favorite Pirate?
My favorite Pirate of all time. That's a good question. You know what? I loved Andy Van Slyke, and then he was my coach in Detroit. I remember we were hitting BP before the World Series in St. Louis, and there was a rain delay, and it was just Andy and I put my bat down. I said, "Hey, man, I know this is my 9th year in the big leagues. Might seem a little weird, but you were my hero growing up. I love you."
That's awesome. What did he say?
He's like, "All right, get back in the box.
You're making me feel old."
Making me feel old, yeah.
Adams calls. Defoe's behind him, and Adams makes the catch. Marte is out number 1.
I have the Pirates souvenir helmet, the adjustable ones. It was yellow with a black bill.
Oh yeah.
And in wiffle ball, I always used to do pop.
Pop Star, the windmill.
Yes.
Everyone did Pop Stars on the wiffle ball in the backyard.
You had to.
Yeah, you had to. The Cobra, Dave Parker. Kidding me?
That was a good stamp.
I'll tell you, one of my earliest memories of baseball and television was Kurt Gowdy in the World Series and Clemente in the great series that he had.
Clemente.
And what a thrill, and I know you've probably been there. FP, I don't know if you've been there. The Roberto Clemente Museum here in Pittsburgh. If you're ever in Pittsburgh and you have a chance, you need to call and make an appointment. It's in an old firehouse.
Yeah, Engine House 25. Dwayne Reeder, one of my dear friends. I'm a member there too. If you can pay to support the Engine House 25, then you get a barrel. You go downstairs. It's a winery. It's the Vera Clemente has donated so many things for the museum, but Dwayne Reeder loves Clemente, has done an unbelievable job keeping his legacy alive. If you're in Pittsburgh, you ever visit Pittsburgh, go to Engine House 25. It's out in Lawrenceville. It is one of the coolest places you'll ever go to.
Agreed.
Right, Rich? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, I was there last year, had a chance to go down and see all the winemaking. That's how they pay for the museum.
Yeah, they pay for it, yep.
And a lot of that wine is made for charity as well.
I think a lot of the Nats players went over there the other night.
Yeah, Zimmerman texted me, said he was there.
Yeah, plane landed and a bunch of them went over there.
It's a great spot.
Polanco up right now. Polanco is 0 for 3 in this ball game. Pirates have 7 hits, and of course the Marte 2-run homer, the biggest one. It's a mean Stargell-like hack. All right, Clemente Museum, here you go. There's your firehouse, and you go inside and you see some stuff from the 50s and the 60s, from all the Pirates history, Clemente's history, what he meant as a humanitarian as well as a legendary ball player. And then if you know Sean Casey, you can go downstairs and check out.
That's right, you got to know a member.
Polanco, that's headed towards the river. It hits a sign, and it's a foul ball. It stays in the ballpark. I believe there have been only 3 balls that have been hit that have reached the river. 3 home runs. Darrell Ward, Garrett Jones, Pedro Alvarez.
Wow, it's a bomb hit there.
And Alvarez didn't go in the river. It went in a boat in the river.
That's even better. Collateral damage.
Vicious liner again.
Wow.
This is a Stargell-like at bat. There are 4 statues around this ballpark. The Stargell one, to me, is the scariest one. He looks just like a menace. He's huge.
His hands are so far back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look out.
Nothing worse than going deep foul. Then you hit a missile foul. You're just hoping it's tough to square 2 balls up in one big league at bat left base.
Do you look away here?
That's where he's setting up. 3-2
no,
coming.
I'm just looking right out over the plate.
Oh, you would have got it too. So many guys swing 3-2 now, and I don't think I noticed it as much in the playing days, but as a broadcaster now, I feel like it's such a swinging count.
Really?
Yeah, you don't see guys taking ball 4 too much. Yeah, somebody almost got worked right there. Look at that.
Oh, heads up, man.
That bar saved her.
Another 3-2. Another smash.
3 balls hard.
Adams is there to get the out. So there's 2 outs, and here comes Francisco Cervelli.
There's nothing worse sometimes, though. You hit a couple balls hard, come back to the dugout. Hey, way to swing it. No, I'm out. You know, your teammates, hey, way to hit it hard.
I had guys snap
I want to hit.
on me.
I want a blooper.
I had teammates snap on me when I did that. Am I standing on first?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Who? Can't remember.
He doesn't want to throw it.
David Segui would snap on you.
Would he?
Am I standing on first? Did I get a hit? No. I don't want to hear where you swing it.
I got news for you. It wasn't just you.
Sorry. I won't say a word. No, but you know, when you're struggling, you get tired of hearing that when you come back.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
See, there you go. Chris is right. It's just like he was standing at first base.
That's right, Chris. We love telling stories. Nothing better than big league stories.
Dude, I used to try to get to first just to talk to Sean. Not because I wanted to get a hit or a walk. I get to first. Oh, it's a great at-bat. It was a great at-bat when you got to 7 pitches, but since you got a base hit to finish it, I'm putting a star by that one. And I'd be like, oh, man, this guy's the best. Little did you know you were inspiring hitters on the other team to get on base.
Man, if I didn't play first base, I don't know what I would have done. If I'm out in center or left, what are you talking to? Nobody. Needed first.
Dude, that was a great at-bat. Bro.
Cervelli comes undone with a big swing. Any of the guys that you chatted with at first base, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anybody that didn't want to talk to?
Oh yeah.
Who was the guy that just?
Ricky Henderson. First time I was like, hey, Ricky, how you doing? A nice walk. He was like, all right, how about zipping it? Bam, he was off. And then Milton Bradley got his first knock ever with the Expos, came to first. I was like, hey, man, way to swing. Congratulations. He didn't say anything to me. And I always get on Craig Counsell. Craig Counsell is one of those guys you think he's nice. Counsell's a great guy. But he'd get to first base. He's so serious, you know, and he'd always get his sign. And it was, you know, I'm like, it started getting annoying. So I crushed him the other day. I was covering the Brewers. I said, dude, why were you're one of the worst players at first base to talk to. You're so serious. Like, it's baseball. Clean it up.
Lighten up, Counts.
Lighten up.
And you're supposed to celebrate when you get to first.
Exactly.
It's a victory. However you get there.
Dave McKay was the worst, though, the first base coach. One of the greatest guys going. But with the Cardinals, he would always be like, Case, quit talking to my players. Let them get their sign. I'm like, all right, Dave, I am. Like, can't they see the guy and talk to me? Can't they see a Kendo over there at third?
Yeah, you'd have been horrible in the out. What a waste if you would have been an outfield.
Well, total waste.
Total waste.
There's no way you would have won the mayoral election there.
No way.
Swing and a miss.
I can't get votes out there.
And Cervelli goes down. And so the Pirates are done here in the 8th. An inning to play here in Pittsburgh. We haven't dropped into the booth yet, but we're about to. As we've enjoyed our time here in Pittsburgh. It's been a great day. Not too hot. The Clemente Bridge is starting to load up with some traffic. People headed out of here. Rich Waltz along with FP Santangelo, Sean Casey. All right, like it or leave it. This is your first Facebook watch. It's something we do. It's kind of topics in Major League Baseball. You give a thumbs up or you give a thumbs down. So let's play like it or leave it. Here's our first topic. Like it or leave it. Red Sox will challenge record for regular season wins. It's 116.
Thumbs down on that one. That's a tough one to get to. Really?
I'm an Alex Cora fan.
I mean, they're awesome, and Alex Cora is doing great.
I'm an Alex Cora fan too. Joey is the third base coach for the Pirates.
Alex Cora, thumbs up. He's going to break all kinds of records.
All right, here's the second one.
I think that's the best team that has to play.
National League East will be a 3-team race until the last week of the season. Like it or leave it?
I say yes.
I like it.
I like it.
I'm there too. I like that. I like that. I mean, I think Atlanta and Philly has some staying power. All right, topic number 3. Washington Nationals should pursue Manny Machado over Harper this offseason. That's a tough one.
No, I say Harper. If you're going after somebody, you got to go after Harper because he means so much to that organization.
I went thumbs down.
I'm a thumbs down.
I'm going sideways because I think you pursue both, and whoever you get, you get.
Maybe you pursue 5 other really good players instead of getting one.
Amen. Our final topic. Pirates should go all rebuild instead of a refurbish or retool.
I say no. That takes a long time, and you got to draft and develop, and fans aren't patient enough to wait for a total.
I say
rebuild.
no too. I think they're doing Neil Huntington. They're doing a good job of trying to retool here.
I say no as well because we showed you some of the guys that were 30, 31 years old. They have some veteran pieces that other teams, I think, can use. And so if they get to the end of July and do use those guys, they can get talent back in. They already have a good young nucleus. Don't blow that up and start at the very bottom.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the fans don't want to see that. Even though we saw it work for the Houston Astros and some other teams, I think this is such a passionate fan base and such a great sports town that to wait 5 or 6 years to be back in the postseason again, man, that's a hard one.
This copyright telecast presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball may not be reproduced, retransmitted. Any form, accounts, description of the game may not be disseminated without express written consent. I tried to get that out of the way before the first Felipe Vasquez pitch crossed the plate. He's got a strike and he's 0-1. And hey, now he is an all-star selected by Major League Baseball. Vasquez with a breaking ball.
This would be a tough at bat. I mean, this guy's absolute fuel, 100-mile-an-hour fastball with that good breaking ball right there. He only had that one real big hiccup early in the year, had a couple bad outings, but he's pretty much been lights out for a few weeks now.
And a guy that the Nationals organization very familiar with.
Felipe Rivero, when he was a Nat, changed his last name to Vasquez this year. It's his sister's surname, so she helped negotiate the contract. 4 years, $22 million.
Was that in the contract?
Oh, she was part of the negotiations.
Oh, Cervelli took one right off the chin here.
That's all right. Still got a fighting
chance. Comes in a little rocky.
He did Sean Rodriguez there.
Vasquez had a save, kind of a wobbly one the other night.
If you give me a 4-year, $22 million deal, I'll change my last name too.
So it takes you $22 million to change your name?
No, not even that one. You're pretty cheap.
Trey Turner, Wilmer Defoe, Matt Wieters. Nationals lead a base runner here. It was the Mark Melancon trade that brought him to this organization. Originally signed with the Rays. 27-year-old Venezuelan. His 3rd season in Pittsburgh. Last year he was outstanding, a 1.67 ERA. Saved 21 ball games. Got him, got the call as well, outside corner. And Turner is out number 1.
You know, Vasquez, that's pretty nasty right there. I mean, obviously Turner thought it was outside, but man, that might be too close to take. Outside slider kind of backdoored it. I don't know if that's almost an unhittable pitch, FP. You know, sometimes when you're up there, you're like, I can't hit that pitch.
Well, plus you're gearing up to hit 100. So you're starting your swing early. You're probably trying to cheat to the fastball, and then you can't get to a slider that probably looked like it was out. It's 100.
Now you saw him as the national. Where did he start, and where has he come to get to the All-Star game?
Well, he's been more consistent with his command. As a national, he threw triple digits, but you didn't always know where it was going. There's a lot of young pitchers, and he's kind of filled out. His frame's gotten thicker. He's using his legs more, and he's throwing more strikes. He always had closer stuff. We used to say he was a closer in waiting, and now it's for the Pirates. And I thought that was a great trade. The Nats needed a closer that year. Melanson did the job, and you know, sometimes you have to give up something to get something.
That's a
Veronica jinxing it right now.
I was about to say that's
fans.
an early Jolly Roger raising there. Defoe, the switch hitter, a 1-1. Breaking ball doesn't come far enough. You can see not where it's caught, where it crosses the front of the plate, and it was out.
You must admit, though, Cervelli does a great job of making those pitches look really good.
Soft hands. Oof. Subtle turn of the wrist, and lets the ball get real deep close to his body.
Do you think that was part of Adam Eaton's complaint the other night that started that tiff at home plate? Maybe a comment about this guy's not that good a framer or something like that?
Could have
Don't let him steal strikes.
Maybe. Find out for us, FP.
I will. I talked to Adam for a minute. Check out the socks.
Yeah, that's sweet.
His shoes say Nightmare?
They do. And those, it's the City of Bridges. And he's got him on the socks. The Stance socks are creative. Fastball at 99. Defoe chases.
The Nats had 7 shutouts all of 2017. If this stands, this will be their 10th shutout this year. So they're trying to get on the board.
That to me is, I mean, just writing down the averages, the on-base percentages, the slugging percentages of this lineup, that doesn't add up to me.
It's a head scratcher.
All right, dude, they got some thunder in that lineup.
Wieters now. And Vasquez throws a strike. Solid start, though he went 5 innings. Trevor Williams didn't give up a run. And spectacular bullpen. Richard Rodriguez, Edgar Santana, Kyle Crick, and now Felipe Vasquez, who's out in front 0-2.
Well, this is a big pitch. Mark Reynolds is hot on deck. It's a 2-0 game, and if Matt Wieters can get on, I know Davey Martinez is hoping he can get the tie-in run up there in the form of a guy that's hit a lot of home runs lately. That guy.
Reynolds faced Vasquez in the first game of the series. At the end of the game, hit it hard, but it was right at the shortstop, and that ended the game. 0-2 to Wieters. It's up. One-two. Got him. And the Pirates take the series. The Nationals are back to 500. And Pittsburgh wins 2 of 3. And today, it's all about bullpen. And Starling Marte, a 2-run homer by Marte, 5 innings from Trevor Williams. And then 4 relievers shut down and helped shut out the Washington Nationals.
Well, you thought it was going to be a day for pitchers. The quick turnaround, the late night game last night, and one swing was the difference.
Vasquez just nasty. Strikes out the side. Now that's an all-star.
Yeah, he came in and flat out shut the door right there. No one was hitting that stuff.
Well, the Marte homer was big, but a guy that was on base and had a really nice afternoon. Shortstop Jordy Mercer. We talked about the damage he can do from the 8th spot. This was a double in the third. That set up the Marte home run. Good hustle. And in the 7th inning, the second double on a 2-for-3 day. Mercer and the Pirates didn't have a lot of hits. They had just 7 of them, but they had enough as they shut out the Washington Nationals.
There's certain players that are winning players if you don't look at their stats. You know, who cares what they're hitting? Who cares how many home runs and RBIs they have? They find a way to beat you every day. And when you think of Jordy Mercer, he's a winning baseball player, and he could help a lot of teams in a pennant race if it's not this one.
And he joins us now. Jordy, congratulations on the win. Nice day, couple doubles, and a great effort from your starter and your bullpen.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, we kind of put it all together today. That's kind of how you draw it up, you know. Get some timely hitting. Marte delivered right there. Played good defense, and we pitched it really well, and I think that's the key to winning.
Jordy, hey man, it's Sean Casey. What'd you see from Trevor Williams today? Why he was so good?
Well, I think number one for him is he's got to hit his spots. He mixes well. He's always done that, but if he locates, he can throw any pitch in any count, and he gets guys off balance. Gets a lot of weak contact, swing and miss type stuff, and he was on it. He was just gassed there at the end. That's why I think he came out, but he gave us a chance to win, and that's all you can ask.
Yeah, Jordy, you guys are 43 and 49 now. You're in such a tough division. You know, what's the mindset for maybe you, number one, and as your team, on how you guys jump back into this thing, into NL Central?
Well, I think from what we've talked about, you know, in the clubhouse, our meetings, we got to take it one game at a time. We can't afford, you know, to look ahead. You know, we're not that good right now, and so we got to take it one game at a time. We got to pile up some wins, get some momentum on our side, get some confidence. And who knows, you know, if we rack up, you know, 6, 7, 8 wins in a row, get some momentum back on our side. We're playing well now, so we can just continue to feed off each other and continue going.
One of the hardest jobs in the National League is hitting 8. Psychologically, you've been able to get over those hurdles and do damage from the 8 spot, 2 doubles today. How have you done that, and what was the process like?
A lot of practice, I'll tell you what. I tell guys all the time, I think it's one of the hardest, just not for me, I just think it's one of the hardest holes to hit in baseball. You got to know the situation before you get in there. You got to know what's going on in the game. You got to know everything, because the guy hitting behind you, there's not a lot of good ones hitting behind you. So you got to take that, with a grain of salt. So you got to think of the situation. You got to be in a lot of experience. I think it helps along the way. I've hit an 8-hole a lot in my career, and I think it's just helped me along the way.
Jordy, I've done it. It's not fun. But do you take your walks or do you expand your zone? What's your philosophy, and is it like a at-bat by at-bat situation where you change, or do you just take your walks when they're not pitching?
For me, it's a bat to a bat. You know, I feel like if a guy's in scoring position, I feel like you have to expand a little bit maybe, just to make something happen. And sometimes they don't even give you something to hit too. So there's a little give and take in both. You got to be disciplined, but yet something across the plate, you got to let it fly, because like I said, the guy behind you sometimes isn't very good, so you might get only 1 or 2 shots at it to get that run in, and so it's a little bit of give and take in both.
And you appreciate a good save. You were a closer at Oklahoma State, and you have a good one, an all-star. That was impressive stuff, that 1-2-3 in the 9th.
Yeah, he's playing well. A lot of confidence right now. I think you know, he had a tough patch early, but now he's throwing the ball well. He's throwing the ball about as good as anybody right now in the league, and his confidence is there. And I think that's his big thing for him. His stuff's always going to be there. I think it's just getting on that mound, knowing you're the guy, and basically said, "Here it comes, hit it." And I think he's done that the past 4 or 5 outings, and he's been electric.
Jordy, congratulations on the win. Good luck against the Brewers in a big 5-game series coming up.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
All right, Jordy Mercer of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Guys, it was fun. Thanks for being
time, guys.
Had a blast.
Yeah. MLB Live on Facebook Watch returns following the All-Star break on Wednesday, July 25th. It's Giants and Mariners in Seattle. The Mariners are red hot right now. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern. This was fun here. Great crew, great truck. Nice work. The men and women of MLB Network. For FP Santangelo, Sean Casey, and Steven Nelson, I'm Rich Waltz. Goodbye for now. Thanks for watching MLB Live on Facebook Watch.
Thanks, guys.